Check 1, 2. We're live. We're live. Let's go. Welcome in. Who is in the building? Welcome in. How y'all feeling today? Thank y'all so much for joining the stream. Let's see. Let me refresh over here real quick. Oh, Jesus. Breaking stuff over here. I haven't even gotten started. All right, let's see. Welcome in. Crusade's in the building. What's up, Crusade? Welcome into the stream. Jaden's in here. Ghosty, Normal, welcome in. Appreciate y'all joining. Welcome into the stream. How are y'all feeling today? Caleb Keener is in the building. What's up, Caleb? Good to see you again. I hope you're doing fantastic today. Welcome in to the stream. Welcome in. Is it Gilam? Welcome in as well. Finn is in the building. Chill Cow's in the building. What is up, Chill Cow Music? Welcome into the stream as well. I hope y'all are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope y'all are doing amazing. Let's see. Taiga's in the building, or Taiga. I want to make sure that I get it correct. Thank you so much for tapping in. Welcome in, y'all. If y'all are coming in for the first time, I would love to know where y'all are joining from. Would love to know if you make music, the kind of music that you make. And of course, we're going to dive into some of that music here in the very, very near future. Ida's in the building. Ida, welcome in. I appreciate you joining the stream. Let me just adjust one thing over here really quick. Kobe J. Banks, welcome in. Welcome in. Let me make just a couple quick adjustments over here real fast. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. That's too low. Let's bring it up here. There we go. That's more what I'm looking for. Beautiful. How y'all feeling today? Let's see. Let's get this rolling. Ginger's in the building. What's up, Ginger? Welcome in. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Regrets in the building. How you feeling? Anyway, Tony Blair's in the building. Easy, welcome in. Okay, how do you feel? I feel okay. Feeling pretty good. Joanne, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Caleb, I got you. Caleb, thank you so much for your submission. Torvik Zimmer, I appreciate you. SMA's in the building. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. Y'all, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Whispering Saints, I got you in there as well. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream. WST or West edits, let me know. I want to make sure I get it right. Whispering, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for joining the stream. Let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. We are going to get into some music here in a very, very near future. In the next couple minutes, I'll explain the live stream, kind of the structure of the two different lanes that we have here and kind of what we do here in the structure of Track Talk. So I'll explain all of that in the next couple minutes. But of course, if y'all want to just start getting yourself in line, you can. It's totally up to you. All of that is at the link in the bio. Whispering Saints, first time, welcome in. Master of Puppets makes thrash metal. That's beautiful. I love it. How long have you been doing that? Let me just double check some things over here. Caden, thank you so much for the follow over on Twitch. Oh, I see. I was like, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong screens over here. It's going fantastic. Caden, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you joining on Twitch. Thank you for joining, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Repost, send in your heart me. It does really help out the live stream. Ginger, thank you so much for the TikTok. I do appreciate that, y'all. Welcome in. But yeah, let me know where y'all are joining from. If you make music, would love to know the kind of music that you make. Would love to know kind of the structure of what you do, how long you've been doing it. Let me see. And Caleb Keener, I got you with your second as well. Thank you so much for the submission, man. I appreciate that a lot. Everything is at the link in my bio. I will be updating the line and updating the structure here in just a moment. Angela, thank you so much for joining the stream. I hope y'all are doing absolutely fantastic on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate it. Zephyr, if you would like to submit, everything is at the link in my bio. Joining from Zimbabwe, Marvin. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate it so much. Just started a band with my friend, but I used to do solo music for like a year. Awesome, awesome. How do you like the contrast between having like a collaborative structure to your music now versus being in charge of all of the decisions? Having dabbled in both, I understand the nuances of that dynamic. It can be fantastic, and it can also be frustrating at times. So I'm interested to kind of hear what your experience was being a solo artist and being in a band, and which one you enjoy more. I'm learning drumming. No, but actually, no. Okay, no worries at all. No worries at all. I appreciate you tapping in. Creates emotional music that reaches the heart, whispering saints. I love that. Love that. Tony Blair, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Band is better because I don't have to play all the instruments. That's facts. I know how that is. I know how that is. That's so real. Let me see. Sounds good, Met. I appreciate you so much. Wait, are we also playing music? We are playing music. I'm listening to y'all's music. So if you're a producer, you're an artist, you're a session musician, you are an engineer, you're a rapper, you're a vocalist, you're a songwriter, whatever it may be, you can send in your music. Everything is at the link in my bio. I'll explain both lines here in a second because there are two different lines that do two different things. I'll explain those here in just a couple minutes, but we're just getting the different platforms up and running. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. So we're just getting everything up and flowing, talking for a little bit, answering questions, chatting a little bit, learning a little bit more about what y'all do. And then I will explain the live stream in like 3 minutes. In like 3 minutes, we'll make Afrofusion music. Working on my first album, Marvin. Sounds amazing. Edge Beauty, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. First album, that's an exciting time, man. First album is an exciting time. There's like a lot of pressure sometimes that goes into it being what you feel like, perceptively is like your introduction to the world. Even if you've done singles, even if you put out 40 songs before, the album is like, here's my heart and soul. Here's like what I really want to do. You know what I mean? Like oftentimes the singles, you're trialing a lot, you're testing things, you're learning a lot. The album oftentimes, at least with a lot of the artists that I've worked with, oftentimes the album is like, okay, here we go. This is me. This is like a real holistic representation of what I want to do in music. So there's a little bit of pressure, but it's also a really fun process, man. Also a really, really fun process. Me and my friend just started writing our first song, Master of Puppets. That's awesome. That's awesome. Working on my own rock new metal sound. Done being the ballad boy. Let's go. I mean, the ballads are good too. It's it depends on the place and time. The ballads are good to have too. You never know what segment of your fan base and your listeners want those slow moving, slow jams, ballads. You know what I mean? So you never know. You never know what people are looking for. If you want to submit, I see people asking. Everything's at the link in my bio. Caleb, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. There's some nuance to it, right? I'm really liking this melody right now. It's pretty. We're just talking about I'm open to all of options. Yeah, I love it. Mystery Batch Studios in the building. Okay. If you don't like, join your fan club. Let's go. Skylar Banks in the building. What's up, Skylar Banks? Welcome in, y'all. Keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Let me know where you're joining from. We're going to move here in just a minute. I'm waiting just another 2 minutes. We got some people already coming in. I appreciate y'all so much. We're going to dive into the music in just the next 5 minutes. Jay, appreciate you tapping in. Sima, welcome in. PWR Sport, welcome in. Skylar, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here. How y'all feeling today? Talk to me a little bit. Hope y'all are doing absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Galdiv. Shout out to Galdi. Yeah, Galdi is awesome. If y'all haven't heard him, that's a great song. We're not listening to like popular artists or just requests in that sense. Thank y'all for the follows. I appreciate that a lot. But that is a fantastic song. They have some really cool production. If you like kind of like lo-fi R&B kind of a feel, they do a really cool job. We're not listening to requests in that sense, but that is a great song. Thank y'all for the follows. I appreciate that so much. Everything's at the link in my bio. Can it do acoustic strings? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. This is just my, for those of you who care or want to see, well, you can't see it that much. This is just my MIDI controller right here. I have it on a rolling stand underneath my desk, which a lot of this is going to change in the next coming weeks. I'll be switching out my desk, doing a kind of a custom build situation, which will be fun. But yeah, that's just the MIDI controller that I use right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've had so many different MIDI controllers. This one does a great job. I wish I had room under here for the 88, but I don't, because I do wish that this had slightly more weighted streams. They are like technically semi-weighted, but they're pretty light. You know, they're large. They're more like the, you know, like the Poly D. They're like very synthy. They're pretty light. And I wish, as someone who plays keys, has played keys their entire life, I wish they were a little bit heavier. The 88 is where you bump up to slightly more, not fully weighted, not fully, you know, established hammer action, but you do get a slightly more weighty key bed with the 88. But this is the 61. This is the Arturia Keylab 61. Eclipse in the building. Welcome in. How you feeling? I'm in San Antonio, Texas, Mystery. San Antonio, Texas. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right, we're going to get rolling here in a second. Give me just 1 minute. Let me refresh over here really fast, and then we will dive into the music. Caleb, I got you up and ready to go. Everyone else, I got you up and ready to go as well. Let's go. Can you play music? That's absolutely what we're about to do. Sorry to ask, can you give a quick explanation of your mastering process? It depends on the song. It depends on like the dynamic range of the song. Sometimes I'm a little bit more hands-on with it. Sometimes I let it kind of flow through the whole song. It's a bit more rigid in kind of what's affecting it. But it does kind of depend on the song. The process of mastering, it kind of depends. Most of the time, if I'm just doing it straight off a 2-track from a client, or it's just a part of a mix that I've already done, and I output that 2-track and I'm just doing it there. If I'm all in the box, then it is just kind of walking through a couple different parts of the chain. For me, it's going to be low levels of harmonics and saturation. It's going to be single compressor, corrective EQ, potentially a stylistic EQ, pull text style as needed if it's needed. And then if necessary, depending on the mix that I've gotten, if it's from a client or if it's someone else, or if I've already based it myself, we might do some optimizing of width, like a multi-band width optimization, as well as just mastering at the end. But it's pretty simple. And then in the coming week or two, I'll be switching my setup. I have some analog, some like outboard analog stuff, so I'll be doing fully analog mastering in that as well, which I've done before in the past. I buy and sell stuff so often that there's been times where I've done more analog mastering and gotten rid of it, and then I've gotten back in the box just because it was faster turnover and easier recall. But in the coming weeks, I'll be working through a bunch of new gear here in the studio. I'll be back analog mastering, which is, for me, I really enjoy that. It's just more hands-on. I can really I'm not looking at the screen. I'm not like looking at numbers and like trying to surgically fine-tune things. I'm really just using my ears to dial in just the depth of the track, EQ, obviously, compression, saturation, like, you know, harmonics is necessary, and then of course width. And then once I'm done with analog, like if I'm outboard mastering, I'm doing kind of a hybrid setup. I will do outboard, and then I'll just send that 2-track back into Pro Tools just for loudness at the very end. So I'll just like send it into like an L1, something super easy. Just a very simple limiter, just to like, I already have a compressed, glued together, beautiful master, send it back in for loudness, and that's it. And then if there's anything other stylistic, but most of it's pretty hybrid, kind of in and out, in and out. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into some music. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Yeah, feel free to ask questions. Chris is in the building. What's up, Chris? Francisco, thank you so much for the rose. I appreciate you a lot. Let's dive into some music. Let's get into some music. Jeff is in the building. Let me give my quick spiel. I give my spiel at the beginning of every single live stream. So if you've been here before, feel free to ignore it. But we're going to dive into the spiel. I will explain the whole structure of what we do here. If y'all have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk, welcome to the family, welcome to the stream. I'm glad y'all are here. Thanks for taking some time out of your Saturday to spend some time with us here in the stream, listen to some amazing music, hopefully learn something, grow, network, collaborate, all that fun stuff. Appreciate y'all tapping in. If you've never been here before, there are 2 lanes that you can submit into. There is a free line. That free line is an up to 2-minute listen of your song and a quick note. That's it. Up to 2 minutes of your song and a quick note, song structure, mix, whatever it may be at the end, and then we move on. The other lane, which is the bulk of what we do here, a big part of the time that we spend on this live stream, is the consultation side. On the consultation side, those are 20 to 30-minute multiple listen deep dives into the structure of your music. Like I said, we go 2 or 3 times through the structure of your music over that 20 to 30 minutes in order to really get into the details of your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, and really dive into the nuances of what you're doing both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. This is that side. On the consultation side is not a quick review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is strictly a deep dive into what you're doing creatively and practically in your music. If you would like to submit, I'll explain that here in a second. But for those of you who do not know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So a lot of the structure and perspective of this live stream is pointed in that direction. We're here to just offer some tools, some tips. This is not for popular artists or big name artists to come in. This is a deep dive into your music. So if you're a producer, you're an artist, you're a musician, you're an engineer, whatever it may be, vocalist, songwriter, then if you want to submit your music, this is for you. Everything is at the link in my bio. Baltickle, crazy name by the way, but also you don't submit here in the chat. If you want to submit, it's at the link in my bio. So once again, if you're on TikTok and you would like to submit your music for a consultation or for that free line, then you can. It is at the link in my bio. You'll see both lanes there, and it's the same link that you'll also see the line. You'll see the order. You'll see where you're at. You'll be able to see if you want to move forward or skip or anything like that. That's obviously completely up to you. But all of that is at the same link in my bio. If you are on the Purple app right now and you would like to submit your music, you can type !submit right there in the chat. If you are on the Red app and you would like to submit, you can go to the description for the live stream and you'll see everything that you need right there. Let's get into some music. Let's get into some music. But do me a huge favor, y'all. Make sure y'all are liking the live, tap the screen, share out the live, repost, all that good stuff. Sending your heart rate for the day. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. But let's get into it. We have Caleb Keener in the building. Caleb is in the building. Let's run it. So we got 2 songs right here from Caleb. Why can't you submit? Why cannot you submit? Joyce is in the building. But Caleb, let me know you're in the chat just so I can make sure that you're present. We have a back-to-back from him, so we're going to dive into those first. What do you mean it won't let you? You got to give me more. You got to. It's technology, so you got to give me more details than that, so I can help you out. It won't let me. I don't have any details. I gotta get more details so I can try to direct you to the right place. So I can try to get you. Try to get you moving in the right direction. Chris Gray, if you would like to submit, everything is at the link in my bio. Link in my bio. Don't submit here in the chat. Don't spam the chat. Everything's at the link in bio. If it blocks the link, hold down on the link and open in browser. Hold down on the link and open in browser. Usually it's just a weird thing with TikTok. If that doesn't work, then you can find Torvik Music on Instagram. It's the same link over there, and that usually will let you do it. It's usually kind of a regional thing sometimes. Yeah, of course. Sent the same song twice. Let me see. I can remove one for you. So give me a second. I am Zai, right? Let me see. Boom. Yeah, I got you. I removed one. Easy. Boom, done. Yeah, got you. All right, let's get into it. Caleb's in the building. Let's run it. We've got Long Way Home by Caleb Keener. Made some updates, retracked some vocals, and made some of the mix changes you suggested. Let's dive in. And then Caleb, again, let people know, remind them as well what you do in your music. I always want people to know when they're in the chat because people like to collaborate. People want to be a part of your journey. So let them know what you do in your music, so on and so on. Henry, don't spam the chat. If you would like to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. All right, let's dive in. First song of the day.
It's a long way home.
You're good. No worries.
Why do you stay? The echoes call my name.
What's up, Mick? Welcome in.
The past has paved the way. You can't
Hell yeah. I'm doing well, Toxic. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
And it's a long way home.
Ali, welcome in.
Yeah, it's a long way home.
Nice 80s feel. Henry, thank you for the follow. Got that big gated reverb, chorus guitars. Faye, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Anchor weighs me down in a distant night waves. I can't see it from the shore, but I've heard its call before. And it's a long
Yeah, this sounds so much bigger.
way home. And it's a long way home. And it's a long
Yeah, link in my bio.
way home. And it's a long
If you want to submit, it's at the link in my bio. Don't send it here in the chat. It feels so much, yeah, symbols, yeah, it feels so much more open, so much more vibrant. Y'all, show some love to Caleb Keener right in the chat. I've heard this song before, so it might be a little bit shorter on this first breakdown here, but we do have another track that we're about to get into. I also dial back in the verses to make the chorus feel bigger, 100%. Dynamic, like I was saying, like it feels bigger. The dynamic range is much broader. There's more energy going into the hook. It feels very classic 80s, tight drums with a big gated reverb, chorused and reverberated guitars, lead solos, the kind of TR-808 feel on the verse. Like it just has that vibe, man. It feels so authentic to a lot of the processing of that era. So great job, man. Y'all show some love to Caleb. Quick reminder, if you do want to submit everything, I see people still asking. If you want to submit, everything is at the link in my bio. If you want to deep dive, like we're getting to here with some of the consultations, then everything is there at the link in my bio. You can also check the line, the queue, see the order, see where you're at, decide if you want to move, so on and so on. But let's run this one from the top. Let's get into just a couple details here. And let's dive in. Let's dive in one more time for Caleb in the chat. Let's run it from the top.
It's a long way home.
Now, I love, and some of the stuff maybe we talked about the last time. We'll still just update a few things as we go. I would love, this is such a good powerhouse intro of a song. The acapella with huge reverbs, automation on the delay throws. Obviously, the harmony structure here, it almost has this like vocoder feel. It's a very, very cool intro. Love it. Absolutely love it. I would love some more separation out of these vocals. They're still very right here in the middle of the mix. And so I hear that there's the potential for it to sound really big and really powerful, but it feels restrained to this center channel. So I would love to get some of these like third note harmonies to the left and to the right just a little bit more. Just pan one out here, pan one out this way. Start to separate them out in the mix a little bit. And this intro will feel so much more dynamic and so much more impactful, especially if it's the first thing that you hear. The first thing that you hear is this wafty reverb. We have all of this openness, all of this vibrancy, and this beautifully separated vocal with these amazing harmonies that you have. It's going to really open up the intro of this song. And it also, because it's the same thing on the hook, it's also going to make your hook feel even bigger as well. So make sure that these background vocals, these harmonies and these layers are open up just a little bit more. At least I would open them up a little bit more in the mix to make this feel a little bit more impactful when it first comes in, as well as when you transition into the hook.
It's a long way home.
It's a beautiful harmony. I love it.
Why do you stay? The echoes call.
Love that Juno brassy synth in the back, kind of a slow attack brassy synth in the background. That's great.
My name.
I think we talked about that last time a little bit too.
The past has paved the way.
Nicole, welcome in.
You can't turn back.
I would probably hear, just in this particular song structure, I would probably change energy slightly between the acoustic guitars and the synths. I think because you have a pad in the background as well, like you already have a lot of glue in there, the Juno style kind of brassy synth there in the middle is going to give you more like attack. Like when it comes in, you're going to mainly hear this wow that kind of kicks in and then kind of leaves the mix a little bit. You already have a lot of glue underneath that with the acoustics and all the reverb that you have as well. So we don't really need that Juno to do a ton of heavy lifting in the mix. You could probably, depending on how you already have this structured, keep that Juno super, super wide, pull it back in the mix maybe a couple dB, and move the acoustic guitars forward just a couple dB, 2 dB, something like that. Shift the energy just a hair so we can regain the really beautiful picking patterns, some of the openness at the top end of the mix, and not have as much of that brass kind of kick in the middle of the mix and interrupt the vocal. Tiny little change that, just slightly shift the energy of the mix, especially during the verses. Okay, let me back it up here just a little bit. I love sonically though, what the acoustic's doing, what that, synth is doing in the background. I absolutely love. Nothing wrong with like the sonics, nothing wrong with like what I'm actually hearing here. It sounds really, really nice. It's just balancing and making sure that we're not doing anything that kind of distracts from the vocal. And I think we can get a little bit more of that brightness from the acoustic rather than the synth.
Past has paved the way. You can't turn back.
I love these drums too.
The current knows the way.
What's up, Carter? Welcome in, man. I hope you're doing well.
Out of place, and it's a long
Thank you for the follow.
way home. Yeah, it's a long
Sounds good.
way home.
Thank you for the follow. Yeah. It's not AI. Philip Sings, welcome in. Nice name. Nice name. Same thing. We have a little bit of those those harmonies in there. That's where it would start to open up a little bit again. So this mix can start to feel like it's a little bit more open. It's a little bit more vibrant. We're not collapsing this too close to narrow, especially with 80s style, like 80s pop, 80s ballads, so on and so on. We're opening this up like crazy. I would love for this to feel like it surrounds you. It's wide, it's anthemic. Right now still feels a little bit small, partially just because of positioning of some of the vocal layers and maybe even a couple of the elements like we've talked about in the production structure to the instrumentation, where like the acoustics are wide, but they're pretty quiet. The synth is a little bit more narrow. It still has a stereo image, but it's a little bit more narrow and it's really forward. So the things that are forward, like the vocal, the stacks of the vocal, bass, percussion, the synths, those feel closer to center. And so the main elements of this mix feel a little bit more collapsed as opposed to feeling really open and really interesting. Cito's in the building. I'm a spit middle man like again. Tonight, do something about it. Put my hats on. Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay, let's run it. If you want to submit, link in my bio. Link in my bio.
The sinker weighs me down
Percussion is great.
in a distant night waves.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
On the shore, but I've heard its call before, and it's a long
Such a more broad dynamic range for the song now. It's totally different. Kasani, thank you for hopping in, man. I appreciate you being here.
way home.
Same.
It's a long
I would still. So now we have made some changes to the cymbals, which I am so happy with. I think enough that. Wait, what do you mean? Is it? Oh no, not. I think I said Faith earlier. I don't think that's the name. I can't see it from this far. The screen's farther away than I think. Thank you. I appreciate you. What do you mean? I think enough. Yeah. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all saying? What are y'all saying in the chat? All right. Let me back this up a little bit here. The other thing that I still was, so now we have softened performance for those cymbals. They feel way more natural. All of that feels so much better in its structure holistically. I still want like a 16th note on a shaker or a tambourine to open this up just a little bit more, because it is such a slow BPM and it is so open, having just like quarter notes on there. Just I would love to increase it Just a nice, soft, stereo tambourine in the background to just keep that energy flowing. I think we talked about that a little bit last time too. It can barely be there. I want to keep that in mind too. It can barely be there. It doesn't have to be forefront. It doesn't have to be super vibrant. It can be, 6, 7 dB back in the mix just to keep the energy of the song moving forward with a little bit more texture. So like here. Having like the 8th in the background. Because right now we're largely just hearing. Vex, thank you so much for the start of hope. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you a lot. Right now we're just really getting those quarters right there. During the chorus back and yeah, if it is there, it's really quiet. Bring it up by maybe 3 or 4 dB. Allow it to be a bigger part of the structure, because to me it kind of determines the pacing of the song. You know what I mean? Like if everything feels very 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Having the 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. It's a little bit more energy. It drives the song a little bit more, even if it's really, really subtle. It might just be too subtle in this context. It might just be a little bit too far back. But those are some of the small details I would change here. But man, the structure is good. Also, I say this too because the vocal is a very drawn out, like legato vocal. Dun, 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 dun. It's like very open, it's slow moving. And so we need something, even if it's obviously the same BPM, but we need something to pick up like the perceived pacing of the song. So it just doesn't feel too lazy, it doesn't feel too open. But we allow it to kind of drive the song just a hair more. And again, it can be, if there's one there, push it forward by 3 or 4 dB, get it a little bit more forefront in the mix. You'll be fine. You'll be ready to go. Guitar sounds beautiful, by the way. The guitar tone, I think, is absolutely fantastic. I think it's time. The song was superseded. Then you have no idea how this stream works. You have no clue how the stream works. When we're doing consultations, we spend, especially if it's your song, every song that gets into the consultation line, we spend 20 to 30 minutes breaking down your song. So in this song right now, we're not listening quickly. It's not the free line. This is the consultation line. So in this song right now, we are going through the song, back through the song multiple times to get into the details, chop through different elements here, make sure that we're doing everything that we can to polish the quality, improve on its structure, see if there's anything that can be optimized in order to make it clearer, better separated, optimize it for whatever pain points that they're running into when they're creating their music. And that's different for everybody. But that's what we're doing right now. So that's the time of this song is, for one, it's not up to you. It's up to me. I'm running it. So I will spend as much time as I feel personally necessary to offer as much value as I can and offer some tools to the people that are sending in their music. So if you want to go faster, if you just want to listen to people's music super fast, you can start your own stream where you go super fast. I want to dig into it. And we've done that for the last 3.5 years that we have done these consultations, where we're going to spend some time on the consultations. We're going to offer as much value as possible, offer some tools, really dig into the song. So if you want things to go faster, that's not what the stream is. You would just go to a stream that does it faster. We don't do that. All right, let's get into the last section here, and then we'll move to the second song. Yeah, guitar tone is amazing. Guitar tone is fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Y'all show some love. Show some love, show some love. We're going to go into another track here from Caleb Keener. Quick reminder that if you would like to submit your music, so just like we did here, where we're diving into these really detailed, long form, go back through it, get into the details of your song breakdowns. If you're looking for something like that, that is the consultation lane when you go to submit your music. So if you would like to submit your music, go to the, I'm sorry, brother, calm down. I'm calm. I'm good. Master E Music, thank you so much for tapping in. No, you're good. You just said it twice. I'm like, no, that's not what we do. If you want to go faster, that's just not what we do. So I feel pretty calm. I don't feel like I'm not calm. Anyways, all right. So if you want to submit your music, it's always funny when people do that. Projecting, I guess. If you want to submit your music, then go to the link in my bio. You'll see both of the lanes there. You'll see the free line. You'll see the submissions for consultation, which is the paid line. And then, of course, if you want to check the queue, check the order, minimum, stuff like that, then you can see that at the same link as well. Quick reminder that if you're on the purple app, you can type _submit. And if you're on the red app, then you can go to the description for the live stream. You'll see everything that you need right here. We got another track right here from Caleb Keener in the building. Totally experimental style. So this is the same artist, but a different song. I feel like I missed the mark on the sound I was going for. Was trying to do an ambient Novo Amor style track. Not sure how to make it better from here. Okay, let's dig into it, man. Let's dive in. I don't think I've heard this one before. So let's get into some of the details. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I like this. Beautiful. I like that. This works great with your voice. Oops. Oops, what's going on? Here we go. Kelly, welcome in. This is lovely. Love the harmonies. So good. Love the slide. This suits your vocal structure so well, Caleb. Man, this is beautiful. I feel that. Yeah, any genre, 100%. Any genre, any style, any level of quality or preparedness. Those low slides are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Come on. Chris is in the building. What's up, Chris? Welcome in. Yeah, link in my bio. What's up, Chris? Thanks for tapping in today, man. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Jose, thank you for the follow. Welcome back. Yeah, at the link in my bio. Link in my bio. What we're doing right now is the consultation side, which are long and they're detailed, super, super nuanced, or there's a free line as well. Those are really fast. They're up to 2 minutes of the song and then a quick listen. Ceases, thank you for the follow. That's where you submit. Let's go, Caleb. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Y'all, please show some love, show some love, show some love. That is the family, Caleb Keener, right here in the chat. This to me, I mean, I've heard, I guess now, an update on one song and a whole other song of yours. Now hearing two songs, I feel like this, now, I love the other one. They all work well to you. They all, they all are complimentary of your vocal and stuff like that. But this really like indie alternative, there's a folk edge to it, but this really like indie, ambient, and ballad structure that you have here, I feel like works really, really, really well with your vocal. I just feel like it complements your harmonies. The slower movement of the song, I think, complements the space that you typically like to put. Like you kind of bias towards a lot of openness and a lot of space. The pacing and the dynamics of a song like this, I think, complement that really well. Wayne, if you want to submit, it's at the link in my bio. You'll see 2 lanes. What we're doing right now is the consultation side, which are the deep dives. But yeah, all of that is at the link in my bio. Grady, welcome in. Joseph, good to see you. I saw the name pop up. Thanks for tapping in, man. And Villanova, thank you so much for tapping in as well. I see you on the purple app. If you would like to submit on the purple app, type !submit and the line will present itself to you, or the link will present itself to you. But let's get into it. Lee Lyrics, welcome in as well. Whispering Saints, what's up? I saw you waving. What's up? But let's keep it rolling, man. Let's run this from the top. Let's get into the details here. But y'all, please show some love to Chris. Or not, well, show some love to Chris. Chris is great. Show some love to Caleb, Jesus. Show some love to Caleb Keener. What song is this? Because it's top to bottom. Always top to bottom. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, top to bottom. So whoever's at the top gets played every single time. That's the way it is every single live. It always is in order of the submissions or if you're in the consultation line. Michael Jackson, welcome in. Love Space and Ambiance, Big Beach House fan. Yes, 100%. So let's run back through it. Let's dive into some of the details because, man, there's so much potential here. There's so much life here. And obviously, this doesn't mean that every song of yours needs to be like slow and mellow and moody. But I think what you can do is look at some of the structure of what you're doing here and see how can I apply this to other elements in my other songs as well. Whether it's like space, but positioning, one of the things we've talked about is positioning of your harmonies. The positioning of your harmonies is much more broad here as well. This feels wider. It feels more open. It feels much more energetic in that sense. And so I think some of the things that we're learning here about this is really natural for you. It works really well for you. Start to apply some of these production structures and some of the things you're doing vocally to some of your other songs as well. I do not know who Savannah is. I'm not sure, LJ. Yeah, the queue gets long. The queue is, I would say most days that we're live here, we have anywhere from like 40 to 70 submissions of people that come in. So the queue is long. The queue is always moving. We'll try to do a few where we pull some people out of the line as well. I know who they are. I don't listen to their music much, so I'm not like super familiar. Yep. You can see the queue by going to the same link that you submitted through. So if you go to the queue, you can see the queue, you can see the song, you can see the order that you're in, so on and so on. Oh, it's a baseball team. Can I see it? Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. I'm going to be the only metal song. No, you're not. Trust me, you're not. We had a live not that long ago. Miranda's in the building. Thank you for the heartbeat. Thank you for the Go Populars. I appreciate you so much. There was a live we did a couple weeks ago where it was literally like 4 metal songs back to back. We had a couple like softer, like classic, like 80s, 90s rock songs, some shoegaze actually 2 back-to-back shoegaze songs, kind of like 90s slow, grungy shoegaze stuff. And then we had like 3 like progressive metal tracks in a row from some more like modern metal artists that were coming in. It's always a ton of variety. And obviously the first 2 songs we're hearing today are from the same artist. That's part of what's going to make it feel different, right? Is we're having two of the same artists. So obviously stylistically, they're going to be pretty similar. I'm the only one that submitted a Vocaloid song. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Can you do my song, please? I need to go soon. That's up to you. That's up to you. The line and the order and where people are positioned is completely up to when you want to go and how you want to submit and what you're willing to do. So I will always play the song that's at the top of the list. How you get there is completely up to y'all. The amount of patience you have, amount of time you have, amount of resource you have, like that's up to y'all. The line is always going to go top to bottom. I'm not going to randomly just play some other people when other people have either come in before or have paid for a consultation. Zale's in the building. What's up, Zale? And Gear Hades, welcome in as well. I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome to the stream. Zale, did you hear of the new vocal site? Vocalfy, new to me, so I don't rep it, but it sounded interesting. More of a refined Fiverr for vocals. Vocal scribing looking interesting. That is interesting, especially if you're doing a lot of like remixing. If you're doing like remixing, obviously a lot of the stuff that you do, you're wanting to sample vocals and bring in some like license-free stuff. A whole marketplace for that is interesting. Now, I know there are a lot of marketplaces where people sell their acapella vocals. There's a lot, there's a lot that people do. But I haven't dove specifically into Vocalfy. liked specifically. I've looked it up. There's Vocal.io. There's there's a bunch of them out there now. You pay $50 to something for pre-recorded and a few hundred for original collab. Yeah, I mean that's nice. I mean, especially because it can be so frustrating to try to find like features and try to find people to get on your song, people that are willing to either go license free or split rights for it and stuff like that on the publishing side and the mechanical side. That can be challenging to do sometimes. So I mean, I could see that. I can see that doing well. I could see that doing well 100%. Rich, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you get scammed. 100% Zale. Zale's on the purple app if y'all think I'm talking to a phantom right now. Zale's over on Twitch. Yeah, let me know if you get scammed. Let me know if it works out well because that sounds like a pretty cool idea. It also sounds like a pretty cool idea if you're a good vocalist and you have the means to record yourself to put yourself in that marketplace. They probably take 20%, similar to Fiverr, I would assume, on the hiring side. But that might be a good opportunity for people like, man, I mean, I can make an extra couple $100 a month just with my vocal, so on and so on. Exactly. It cuts out you having to be like, here's my open verse. If you're a vocalist, try to get on, and then you get 200 views and no one even cares. Like that can be frustrating. That can be really annoying to deal with. So that does sound. Yeah, ghost humans. Yeah, I know. I'm on. For those of you who don't know, I'm on 3 different lives right now, 3 different platforms. We're on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you see me talking to something that you're not seeing in the chat, that's why. That's why. All right, let's get into the song again. Y'all show some love to Caleb. Caleb, I appreciate you so much. But once again, if you would like to submit your music for a breakdown, so we're going to be on hopefully for another couple hours. If you would like to submit your music for a consultation or for the free line, which is up to 2 minutes of your song and a note, or the 20 to 30 minute consultation where we dive into your music, go back through it, get into the details of it. All of that is at the link in my bio. If you're on TikTok, you can see the queue there, see the line, see where you're at order-wise, so on and so on. All right, but let's get into it. JC, welcome in. This is Fading by Caleb Keener. Let's run it from the top again and dive into some of the details. But you know what's interesting about this already, like right off the bat, 3 seconds in, but a lot of what we talked about with the last song that we already addressed was bringing some of the like glue stuff back, so it's more of just glue, right? The chords and the synths back, pads back a little bit, more movement from the acoustic guitar, so that feels more forward, it feels brighter, it's double tracked, it feels nice and wide, good separation for all of your vocal layers. These are all things that we talked about with the last track, right? What I love about the song is we already have a lot of that. You already did a better job positioning vocals in your layers, your harmony, stuff like that. We already have a wider and louder double track of the acoustic with the ambiance and a lot of the like pads and stuff a little bit farther back. So this song, just by default of the way that you produced it and the way that you did these early balances, feels more cohesive than the last track just by what you already did. Michael, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. What's up, Retrack? Welcome in. Retrack, let me know again if you have anything to send in. I got you. Submit free. Yep, 100%. Makes sense. I think those tools still apply, though. Layers are beautiful. I think we have a little bit of room. This is gorgeous, dude. I love it. We have a little bit of room to push low octave. You have a beautiful, beautiful low octave right underneath that vocal, as well as a little bit of room for that lead vocal to come forward as well. Again, acoustics are nice and wide. Those are nice and bright. We have some space to keep the layers, again, really, reflective and reverberated in the outside, and then push, low octave of your vocal and lead octave a little bit drier and a little bit more forward. Those right there, so we support the song better. There's better clarity and separation for the leads while still having all of this movement and all of this space behind it, right? All of these extra layers and reverbs and stuff like that. But I think there's a little bit of space to push those leads forward. Perfect, Retrack. I got you, man. Thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate you. Low strings are gorgeous. Come on. And what would be nice here? So we're doing a really good job, and we'll talk about... Let's see... Okay, Okay, so over this high melody right here, we're doing a great job of starting to open up the top end of this mix, right? So that, the cellos come in, the kind of the mid-tier strings come in. B section of the hook, we start to push a little bit more of the high end. We start to open up the top of the top of the strings, higher octaves start to come in. I would love also on this like B section to start to introduce some weight lower as well. Whether you bring in like a really nice, like you can kind of fade it in really subtly, fade in like a low, like rolling synth bass underneath it really, really lightly to just create a little bit of weight down there. It could be a lower cello, right? Or like a low cello that you have, or even just like an upright bass that kind of comes in there halfway through and you can fade that in really nicely, creating not just brightness to open up the top end with your harmonies and with the high strings, but also creating depth on the B section would be really, really nice to hear so that the song doesn't feel like it stays kind of in this level too long, but you create a lot of depth on the B section here. I want to run this second part here real quick. And then retrack, just let me know as soon as you submit and I'll pull you up. So. So start here, let this open. I'm gonna pull up, just for the sake of kind of hearing what we're talking about here, I'm gonna pull up a sub bass just for this. It's not gonna be exactly how I want you to do this, obviously, but I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. Boofy's in the building. What's up, Boofy? Welcome in, man. I'll show you kind of exactly what I'm talking about, just to fade it in, and I'll just fade it in super lightly on the low notes here. Subsonic 2, expand, cut off low, and let's bring it in. Boom, piano out. Crazy. That's nuts sounding. We don't need all that. We don't need all that, but we're going to bring this down here a little bit. And we'll go. All right, this is going to sound crazy, but I'll kind of talk you through what I'm doing as we go. It's the G sharp, D sharp. So start this right where it's at. And then here. Fade out. Open this up again. Let it breathe. Just that little bit of energy down there. And man, and I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm literally just fade this in right here, just off the same progression. You honestly might not even be able to hear this on TikTok because it's so low. But I'm just following like this low, the G sharp to the D sharp to the C minor to the A sharp, right? Just here. Just following just that one progression right there. And then when everything comes in, you fade out at the very end, let it come back down. So there's some weight to this moment as well. And it feels really, really, really dynamic. The song gets brighter. It gets more interesting and more dynamic at the top. It also gets deeper. There's better presence and feels really, really open and really vibrant. And then you pull a lot of that energy out when you go back to the slides for the second verse. Little things like that. It's like a small detail, but it can add a lot to the mix without needing to rely on just like the strings to try to fill it out and the vocals to try to fill it out. Nice and open. Bass in. Even if it's not this kind of a bass, right? The idea of having this tension, it gives so much more context to the vocals because there's so much more weight underneath it. Empty out again, let it fade, right? Just those little details here. To me, that's a lot of what this just needs is structure from the vocals, feeling more forward on the low octave in the lead, better separation of the space. The rest of it sounds beautiful. And then back in. Bass back in. You're changing progression, but you get the idea. Because you can tell when it's not there, now it feels like it's kind of missing some of that depth. It's missing some of that presence that I definitely want in there. Right there just gives so much more presence, and then if we don't have it, we're losing some of that life in the low end of the mix. Because the drums are not structured in a way where they're going to carry a lot of that weight, right? They're a little bit like soft, even just the structure. They're looser, they're tuned lower, they're a little bit softer, which is great. That's exactly what you want out of the style. It's exactly what you want in this context. Retrack, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate it. And Puppets, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. But we're missing a lot of the life that would be happening underneath some of those other elements, right? So I think one of the few, and you don't have to do a sub bass. Obviously, you could do a low rolling synth, you could do an upright bass, you could do whatever makes sense for you, right? Whatever creatively feels like it makes sense. But the idea is that we need something on some of these more dynamic moments, whether it's like going into your hook, it's the B section of your second verse, it's the it's the outro of the song, it's the bridge after that next hook. We need something in those moments beyond just strings opening up. To help fill out the song and create more dynamic range. Otherwise, the whole song will feel like it kind of sits right here. Beautiful, but it can sound monotonous over time just because we don't introduce anything to kind of pull us out of that. Low end obviously being one of the best ways that you can do that, right? Because you already have some high strings. Introducing a bass and pulling that bass away creates a pretty dramatic change in dynamics, no matter what the genre is. Having that bass come in and then come out, whether that's like adding 808s to a trap beat and then taking them out or something like this, it's a little bit more indie alternative. Having a bass and removing it can be a huge piece and play a huge part in adding and removing dynamics from a song. So things like that is kind of what I'm listening for. Because I love your vocal performance on this. I'm obsessed. I love it so much. I think it's fantastic. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, harmonies are gorgeous. Lyrics are fantastic. That's what I was talking about at first, Caleb. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Now I do, because there's a genre for this, right? There's different decisions that you make depending on the genre. Like listen to the Beatles, where like a lot of their vocals will just be doubled vocals, right? There'll be slightly different modulations or even slightly different like pitch changes that they'll do through tape in order to make it feel really connected. But they would be very much so forward. Register, welcome in. Appreciate you tapping in. Welcome to the Purple app. But there's going to be different layers that do different things, but they're kind of together doing the same thing the whole time on a lot of their music, right? So kind of the same thing here. Stylistically, kind of depends on what you want. But that is what I was referencing at the beginning of I want the lead vocal and the low octave forward. And so they will take more of a center stage. I don't want them like dry and pointy and like too forward. Like I don't want them to be like too much in their own world. I still want them to feel connected to the production, but I do think that your like main lead vocal and the low octave that supports it can be forward by probably 2 or 3 dB if you want to. And then in the background, if you want to bring those layers down, you can. I don't think you necessarily need to bring other layers down more than we need to separate the lead vocal forward, because I think layers versus production loudness-wise is fine. I think that's perfectly fine. For me, it's mainly that the lead needs to be more prominent. It needs more separation. It needs more like distinction and clarity in the mix right there. I'm drunk friendly and looking for some cool Torvik feedback. Sounds good. Type exclamation point submit on the Purple app, and that's where you can submit. But y'all show some love. Show some love to Caleb in the chat. The falsetto felt too unsupported. Yeah. So I feel like so much of it just has to do with like where you want certain elements. Do you want things to feel more connected, or do you want them to be a little bit more separate? But I do think at least the low and the what is right now your lead. So here. That melody right there. Brianna, welcome in. Appreciate you joining. Thank you for the follow as well. Yeah, that low octave right there and that high falsetto, to me, those working together, you can push forward to have a little bit better clarity and separation for those right there. But that to me is one of the few things dynamically. And then, like I said, just opening up low end, adding in one element that you utilize as your dynamic push. So when you're going into your hook or the B section of a verse, you go into your bridge, that element kind of solidifies and grounds the rest of the track. And then the rest of it just kind of opens up quite a bit. But man, show some love. Yeah, so I don't think it's as simple as turn these down and like make sure you have a clean lead, because I don't necessarily want clean. I just want supported and a little bit more prominent in the mix. But I don't think it needs to like stand alone too much. But y'all, please show some love. That is Caleb Keener. Keep in mind, if you would like to submit your music right now, what we're doing, where we go back through, we talk through these details, we get into production structure, mix and master, all of these different elements. If you would like to submit your music for that, everything's at the link in my bio. So if you go to the link in my bio, you'll see all the details right there for you to submit. Sean Chandler, welcome in. I appreciate you joining as well. The queue's only long for the free line right now. But if you want the 20, what we just did, that's the consultation line. So the 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive into your music, that's not very long. And anybody who's in the free line, if you want to go faster, you can skip out of that really easily. But that's if you want to get the full breakdown. So the free line is up to 20 minutes of your song. Up to 20 minutes of your song. Sorry, up to 2 minutes. Up to 2 minutes of your song and a quick listen. And then the consultation side, that's where we dive deep. We talk about mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyrics, song formatting, whatever it may be. That's the deep dive consultation side, and that's the one that starts in the 10 line. All right, let me clear this really quick, and then let me double check for retrack really quick, because I gotta get this moving too. Let's see. Did you send it in retrack? Let me refresh too, just to make sure. Just doing myself for fun. 35,000 views in 36 hours. Beautiful. That's amazing. If anybody wants to submit, it's all at the link in my bio. We got to keep everyone in order. Keep everything organized. Got to stay organized. All right, let me just double check this real quick. I want to make sure I get all of this in order. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to do a Whispering Saints really quick, and then as soon as you pop it in, let me know as soon as it's sent, and then I'll bump you up as well. All right, let's get into it. This is a dipping in the free line for a second. Roses in Heaven, alternative version. Whispering Saints, give you some details, but we're going to give a quick note here at the end, up to 2 minutes of the song. Let's dive in. This is on Spotify as well. Just so y'all know, so it is released. Go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist.
Can I pick roses in heaven?
This is generated. So talk me through some of your structure here.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, when I leave this earth, can I pick roses in heaven? I've been walking through shadows, carrying light in my chest. Every memory's a garden, but the thorns never rest. Lost some angels to the silence, lost my faith in the rain. But I keep on planting hope through the sorrow and pain. They say heaven is golden, where the streets never fade. But I picture a meadow, where the flowers are laid. So when I'm finally called home, when my last breath is given, tell me, Lord, tell me true, can I pick
Appreciate you,
roses
son.
in
Thank you. Yep.
Can I pick roses in heaven?
Sounds good, retrack. Yeah, free line is up to 2 minutes of the song, and a quick note, the consultation side is the main thing that we do. So that's 20 to 30 minutes of song. Deep dive multiple times through it.
Can I pick roses? I see petals in the sunrise, crimson tears on the ground. Every goodbye that I whispered is another lost sound. But if love never dies, if it lives in the skies, then these roses are forever with no need to disguise. I lost soul, but I'm searching for grace. No gun in my holster, just truth that I face. If the heavens got gardens, let me wander those fields, picking roses for the broken where the spirit is healed. I'm not asking for mansions, I'm not asking for crowns, just a chance to touch beauty where the lost are found. Let my hands feel the blossoms.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah, 100%.
One more question, Lord.
All right, y'all show some love, man. Show some love. That is Roses in Heaven, the alternative version by Whispering Saints. Yeah, this is 100%. Yeah, not a question about it. 100% at production and vocal structure. One of the things I would keep in mind, just really briefly, one of the things I would keep in mind with stuff like this, I write my lyrics and use Uno to get them out over 2 years now. One thing I would just keep in mind, and this is going to be the issue with a lot of generated music, if you're really trying to format it well, is they have just a lot of small changes to melody structure as you're going through your song. It just makes it a lot harder. If you are like wanting people to remember your music, you're wanting them to latch onto it, you want it to be catchy, you want it to be, something that people are actually going to like remember later on, then we need to have maybe slightly more consistent structure. A lot of times when it happens, when people are generating the vocal structure and the melody structure, where it's either way too consistent, it's like the exact same thing happening over and over and over and over again, and there's no dynamic range, or it's like every like 2 measures, there's like a small change to the melody, small change to the melody, small change to the melody. That's nearly impossible to learn, right? Especially with a song like this that is incredibly lyrically dense, right? If it's super, super lyrically dense, it's going to be challenging to remember no matter what, even if it was like one note the whole time. So in this, music will never not sound AI music. Yeah, it'll potentially sound better and better over the years. It already sounds better than it ever has before, but there's some kind of physicalities to it that it'll be very, very challenging to escape. That is just kind of the format of actually creating something from ground zero and putting it together with limitations and processing power. There's always going to be some limitations to that. But that's the thing that I would focus on, right? I'm going through these verses, or at least, that first verse, especially going into the hook. There's so many small changes in melody, so many small changes in structure, and so many lyrics attributed to it that it's just going to be very challenging for people to learn. Try to have more distinct, more like locked in, really solidified vocal structures that repeat more often, that are really consistent and have more melodic variation. And that'll help it, feel a little bit more catchy and a little bit better structured as well. But y'all show some love to Whispering Saints. Appreciate you sending that in. Let me get Retrack up on the board. Quick reminder of that, if you would like to submit your music, if you want to submit your music, go to the link in my bio. You see everything that you need right there. We got Retrack in the building. Retrack, I got you to the top, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Retrack is in the building. That's the family. That is one of the OGs here. We love Retrack. It was his birthday yesterday. So please show him some love and support. Definitely, go buy a beat, go support him financially, whatever you got to do. It's the family. We love Retrack. Absolutely, absolutely adore everything that he does. So let's get into it. But once again, if you want to submit, link in my bio, read through the steps. You can see the line in the queue and everything there as well. But this is Retrack. I Don't Want My Ex Back. He's a producer, he's a composer, and he's absolutely amazing. I don't remember if I sent you this or not, but it's a Jersey Club house beat that I want to send to that label. Okay, I need help. You're talking about the K-pop label, right? I need help with the transition from Jersey to trap. Got you. All right, beautiful. Let's get into it. Nice. Okay, cool. What's up, Jenna? Welcome in. Good to see you. Met Joe, got you. Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate it. Perfect. Okay. Did you copy and sample the high chord structure and drop it down an octave here too? Just in FL? Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is I Don't Want My Ex Back by Retrack. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. A couple little things. So I do, one thing I'm listening for is, pitch it up, because I put, oh, got you. Put some vocals on it. I'm listening for the actual tuning of the 808 in relation to the chords on the high strings. That's something I'm kind of interested, so I want to look at that just for a moment. And then we'll look at the transition. I know that's one of the main things you sent it in for. So we'll look at the transition. I want to look at the 808 tuning versus the high chords there. And then there's one other thing I'm looking for. But anyways, we'll dive into it. I don't know how early this is for you. I do think, especially in the K-pop space, and I mean the pop space in general, but you're wanting to send this to the K-pop label. In general, complexity of production is pretty prominent. Like that's a big part of what happens, right? There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of layers, there's a lot of dynamics, there's a lot of little switches that happen all the time. We have a couple of these in here. I would encourage you, depending on how early you feel like you are in this, I would encourage you to add a lot more layers and nuances to even like what you have. So even if like this is the foundation of it, this is like the main thing that you're digging into, I do think it would be nice to have a couple other layers in here to support it a little bit better, fill in between the sub, like between the 808 and between the high like saw stack that you have at the top. And I feel like we do need like a couple little layers in there to help fill it out. No, a vocal's going to do some of that, but I still think we can do some kind of tasteful manipulation there to add a little bit more. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details, but for me, I'll focus on 808, like progression wise, and the transition obviously that you sent in for. And then Matt Joe, appreciate you so much. I got you in line. Appreciate you. Just the structure. Perfect. Okay, got you. That gives me some context as to the kind of where it's going. Okay, let's go back here. So just for context, the lead up here, this is an A major chord to the F sharp minor. Right, A major to the F sharp minor. The only other thing that I feel like depends on how much tension you want to have and where you like it on the 808 side. So I like obviously the kind of Jersey feel that we're going for is doom, 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 doom. That whole feel, beautiful, love it. The only thing that I'm kind of listening for is the chord that it's hitting, because we have that happening at the same time, and then they both move to the F sharp right there. But the E and the A, so the chord, we have like the high synth hitting the A major and the low bass doing the E going to the F sharp. In my personal opinion, it would probably be a little bit tighter and feel more energetic if one of two things happened. Either we go A to F sharp on the bass, so the bass would be they follow the same progression, they follow the same movement right there, or we change the high A major and drop it down to an E major so it follows the bass. Right, and that goes back and forth right there. But the bass being on a different root note than all of the other chords, because there's really only one other section of music here. There's only these chords at the top. Them being on a different progression from each other with such a currently simple progression, such a simple production structure, to me throws it off just a little bit. So it would kind of be like, so if I go here, let me back this up here a little bit. Let me see. I'm gonna play underneath it just for a second to kind of show you what I'm talking about, just really briefly, and we'll hear the difference. Nothing, none of that, none of that. I'm just gonna lower this cutoff. Obviously, completely different feel and structure, but you'll get kind of what I'm talking about. What's up, Swan? This is following. You hear where the 808 note is? So E. Oh, you know what I think is happening? You know what I think is happening? So this is what's interesting, Retrack, is you are still doing like the minor third here. So the all of the other elements, right? So your lead synth at the top. What's up, Jai? Appreciate you tapping in. Swan, it's good to see you in here. Hope you're doing amazing. This the main chords, like I said, are A major, boom, boom, dun, 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 right? That's the main progression there. The bass that you're playing, the 808, is an E to a C sharp. So it's the same separation. It's the same like count of notes in between, but it's just down 4 semitones, right? Or 5 it's down 5 semitones. I'm curious if the 808 that you dropped in there is like tuned to a G instead of like a central C. I'm curious if it's a G 808 because they're all like tuned to whatever they are in Splice or whatever they are with cymatics or whatever like that. My intuition tells me that it's maybe like a G, and when you're playing the A, you're actually playing an E, and when you play an F sharp, you're actually playing a C sharp. And so that's why like the tuning feels funky or something like that. Because you're doing the right spread, it's just in the wrong key. You're doing it in E major versus A major. So that's what I would double check, because when I go here, you hear how that feels like more connected, like a little tighter? And then there's where the 808 is. It's just in a different key. It's kind of doing a different thing. But if here, it's way tighter. It makes everything feel like a lot more cohesive, a lot more connected. And then you hear the 808, and it's in a different key. That's what I was hearing. That's what I was hearing. So the only thing I want you to do is, one, double check what the key of the 808 sample you brought in is in, because sometimes they'll be in like C sharp, they'll be in G, they'll be in A flat, they'll be in wherever, right? They'll be in different keys. So when you drop it in, even if you play a C, you'll be playing a G, or you play a C, but you're playing an A flat or something like that. And so you might be like playing the right thing on the keyboard or inputting the right thing in MIDI and programming in MIDI, but the actual sample itself is in a different key. So double check that, because that to me, that's like determines a lot of the energy of the song. As soon as you start to play that bass back in tune from the A to the F sharp, it tuned in to the A and the F sharp, immediately like I feel the song more. I feel the beat a little bit more, and it comes together quite a bit closer to what I think you're going for. And you can still change progression a little bit, you know. Like we can still change the progression, but what I would recommend is that everything moves and changes in that progression together, or at least complements each other in that progression together, so that it feels really locked in. Immediately, it's going to feel tighter. It's going to feel like the progressions work better together, so on and so on. Same thing here. That low rolling. The rolling bass is doing the same thing. It's an E to C sharp. I would get that to an A to F sharp. It's E to C sharp, go A to F sharp, and that'll smooth the whole thing out. Or, I mean, if you want a different progression, of course you can. Just make sure it's in the same key. Make sure it's in the right key, which should be F sharp minor or A major as relative keys. like the feel. You do have like distinct dynamics and stuff. I think especially as you build out more layers to the progression, it'll open up quite a bit as well. So it doesn't feel like too much of the same stack at the top and layers at the bottom. All right, here comes the transition here. So one big part of this here is I would change the progression here. So right now, instead of the A to F sharp, right now it's wrong, right? But from the A to the F sharp, I feel like we can, shift that down. But what you could probably do is D to F sharp instead. And if I go from here to a more like rolling, let me see, it's ultra fuzz attack. Let me see. Hold on one second. We'll filter this down here. So if you break this down here, and instead of going back to the same chords that you're doing back and forth right here for the kind of the trap breakdown here just for a moment, even though it's empty so far, going back into this breakdown right here, if you go to a D to F sharp, so instead of A, if the whole rest of the song, largely speaking, hook and verses is A to F sharp, if you change it to a D to F sharp, it'll shift the energy here a little bit more too. So we go here. Sounds out of tune because both notes are playing. Right? If it wasn't competing with the 808, you kind of get what I mean, right? Where we hold on. And we go straight into the the Jersey section again right there, something like that, right? Just changing again that rolling bass that you already have, instead of it being the E C sharp again, going to a D to F sharp. So again, just changing the notes and kind of rearranging it a little bit, having that D right there over the creates some tension. It's a good chord for it. All fits really well together, especially with the lead melodies that you already have. And that's just, again, as simple as taking the bass that you have, making it more complementary to the like the high leads that you have and the stacks that you have at the top as well. Met Joe, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. All right, let me get into this this section again just one more time. So I want to hear the transition. I think you also just lead into the breakdown a little bit better, so it doesn't feel like we're here, then we're here, then we're here, right? And it's very rigid in the way that it happens. If you change, even just on the MIDI side, only at the end of this line on the MIDI side, you change the MIDI notes of that synth to kind of walk down. You know what I mean? Like if you like walk the melody down right there and then have a nice little like either like a snare roll with some toms that move into it, and then we go into the trap breakdown right underneath it. We can find some interesting way of transitioning, but I think it just it comes down to like changing some of your structure in the last like 4 counts. Like those last 4 counts, change the melody of that last synth to kind of walk down to the low pad right there, change the rolling bass line to the D to F sharp. And just kind of reformat the entry into that section right there. Because right now it just feels dun, 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 boom, and the next section starts. But it's pretty rigid. Like it just kind of is one section into the next section. There's no like journey leading into it. So I think the more that you just find, even with the same sounds that you have, the same bassing, drums and stuff like that, same leads obviously, to utilize those sounds to kind of walk down into that section, I think it'll sound a lot more consistent. Restructure that bass. I also think structurally, Latitude, welcome in. Structurally, you could probably stay. We don't have a ton of different dynamics in the song. It's a lot of the same chord. It's a lot of the same high synths, which will change once you add more layers in here. But I would say that on this section here, we could probably stay there for another, 4 measures or so. Like we could stay there for another couple bars. We get into that really quickly, and then we just bounce right back out of it. I think it would be nice from a song structure standpoint to live in that moment a little bit more. Like actually go through that maybe another 4 bars and really create some structure where like the vocal can lean into those moments, change their vocal structure, build up some harmonies on the second section, and then boom, we're back into the hook again. But I think, yeah, like 12 instead of 8, exactly. Something like that. Give it another, either, depending on how you're counting it, another 4 measures or another 8 measures, like double it, what you have right there. I think doubling might even work. It's a short song. It's 2 minutes and 54 seconds. You got some time. Another 15 seconds isn't going to hurt you in this instance. Give it another, 4 to 8 measures or so there so that it expands, and there's some time for the vocals to change. There's time for the structure to relax, and then boom, we hit it with the next section pretty hard. And we're back. And then back to the A to F sharp. A to F sharp. Yeah. Structure of the vocals of the song. Got you. So there's already kind of like a pre-established vocal structure that you're working off of. Is that what you're saying? D Busy's in the building. What's up, D Busy? So good to see you, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. Can you rate my song? Oh, okay, I got you. I'm on to you. If you want to, everything's at the link in my bio. If you want to submit, link in my bio. I would love to hear what you got. Got you. Okay, if that is the case, I don't know how much control you have then. If that is the case where it's like a pre-structured vocal, it's already doing what it's supposed to do, then maybe you keep it shorter, or you double the vocal. I mean, you can find a way to integrate that, double the vocal, so you have like a double bridge right there before the hook starts again, or keep it short. But if you're going to keep it short, make sure that there's plenty of layers to add and take away dynamics there. Like I said, changing melody going into it, a lot of layering and nuance and ear candy and that breakdown right there, and then a more nuanced, more detailed, more complex lead up into the next part, right? Where like when we're starting in this low section here, let me see here. So we start here, break it down. Maybe it starts this simple, but then halfway through, and we're back in. You know what I mean? Like we need to start. Jesus, what's going on? Jesus. Hold on, slow down. We need like more elements kind of coming into play right there on that B section. And if it's only going to be one time to solidify where that vocal hits, then we need more changes and more complexity in some of these moments to lead into the next section. So it doesn't feel too simple. It doesn't feel too dry, but there's a little bit more movement, a little bit more life to it. There is a queue of songs. Yeah, if you go to the link in my bio, you'll see a submission tab. At that submission tab, you can check the line on one of them, and you can also submit on the other one. We have the free line, which is up to 2 minutes of your song and a quick listen. And then we have the consultation line, which is what we're digging into right now, and have for the last couple songs, where those are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen breakdowns of the structure of your music. We'll dive into mix, production, sound design, lyrics, song formatting, structure, whatever it may be. Julian, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Absolutely, Royal, absolutely any genre, any style, any language, any level of quality. But y'all show some up to retrack. Appreciate you so much. Yeah, I can watch it. I can't play it on the screen, but I can watch it myself 100%. 100%. Absolutely. If it's on YouTube, I can break it down. Absolutely. Yeah, everything's at the link. If anybody would like to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. Thank you so much for the submission, Retrack. It's Retrack's birthday, so show some love to the family. It was yesterday. Show him some love. Show him some support. I'm excited to hear how you build this up and how much, what this ends up taking shape as you add more layers, build out the base structure, so on and so on. Renz, if you want to submit, link in my bio. You don't submit here in the chat. Everything goes through an order so I can get everyone in the queue. We got Met Joe in the building. Met Joe, hop in the chat. Let me know that you are here. But of course, if y'all want to submit, link in my bio, so on and so on. But we're going to get into this next track. Swan said, when you're done with the song, do you have any advice on preparing your mix for streaming services? Sometimes it sounds quieter once uploaded. There's natural normalization to Spotify specifically that's like negative, it's negative 14 lefts or something like that. When I'm doing just like natural, just like even like really simple mastering and stuff like that, I just get as good of I'm not someone who's addicted to like checking lefts and stuff like that. Even just like a basic balance for any of my mixes, I'm already at like negative 10, negative 9. So I think if you do have like a very, very well balanced song, you really don't have to worry about it too much. And then if you just are going for loudness, if you feel like it's turning it down quite a bit, usually that just means there's big imbalances. So if there's huge imbalances in the mix and they're running off of peak and they bring that down to negative 14, your mixes are going to feel really, really quiet on platforms. But if you have a great balance integrated into your mix, you shouldn't have an issue with it. On the mastering side, even if you don't want to master, like even if you don't really want to master your songs and deal with that too much, but you just want to get some loudness, get a limiter at the end of your chain on your master. Just have a limiter on there, put it at a peak -1 as a ceiling. I'm sorry, a ceiling of -0.1, and then lower the threshold till you get about 2 dB tops of reduction, and you should have a fairly loud mix. Now, if your mix is imbalanced pretty dramatically, you'll still have some issues with your mix. But if you want to go as simple and as basic as possible, just a -0.1 ceiling on your limiter, lower the threshold till you get 2 dB of reduction. If that doesn't make it loud enough, then we need to probably correct some other things that are robbing you of headroom in your mix. But that's it. There's not a whole lot to it. Now, I like to do more. There's some other nuances to automating a master, automating low-end energy, high-end fatigue as it happens throughout the course of a song, even by a dB or two, automating like brick wall or multi-band wideness on certain elements in the mix. On the mastering side, to integrate a little bit more energy into the mix and automate that. That's fun. Like that, all this stuff is great. I love doing it. But if you are overwhelmed with that whole process of like mastering in the box or whatever it may be, then just get a limiter on there, set a ceiling, lower the threshold till it feels like you're doing what you want it to do, and you're getting about a dB to 2 dB tops of reduction. You're done, and then it should be plenty loud, unless you're just cranking other elements in the mix that are robbing you of that. All right, we got the next songs in here, and D Busy's in the building. D Busy, I see you, man. Thank you so much for the submission. We got Met Joe in the building. This is All I Wanted. Here, it's a cover. Okay, beautiful. Is it bad if I don't have bass in my songs? It just depends on if the song needs bass, right? Like if it's an acoustic record and it's you and a fiddle, and I don't know your songs, right? But like if it's you and it's a fiddle and it's whatever, or if it's like it's a ballad or whatever it may, or even if it's a metal track and you're detuning your 7-string baritone down to like a low C sharp or whatever, low G sharp or something like that, you might not need it. It's helpful to have control. The more layers that you have, the more control you have over how those present themselves in the mix. So, is it bad to not have a bass in your song? No, unless it needs it. I know that's not a very helpful answer, but is it not bad to have drums in a song? No, I mean unless the song needs percussion, then you probably should have drums in it. And so I think that's kind of the loose answer is like if you make a song that doesn't have bass and you feel like you're running into an issue where you have like no body and there's no life to the mix, then yeah, maybe add a bass, even if it's a VST. But let's get it. We got Met Joe in the building. This is Matthew pronounced done. Wait, hold on. Paramore cover. Ooh, beautiful. Let's go. Dude, of course, Swan. Of course. Let me see. Oh, Matthew. So it's pronounced Matthew? Gotcha. Okay, pronounced Matthew. Done being the ballad boy. Let's share my rock influence, own rock music comment. Okay, so this is a cover that you did. Your own music is coming very soon. Money Grip, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I got you. Correct me if I'm wrong. But let's get into it. This is Matthew. I think is like you said, pronounced Matthew. This is All I Wanted. Derek Bennett in the building. What's up, Derek Bennett? Good to see you, man. This is All I Wanted by Matthew. Let's dive in. And this cover is out on platforms. Okay, sounds good. That's awesome. I like that.
Think of me when you're out there. I'll beg you nice from my knees.
This is such a good song too. Did you do all this yourself?
The world treats you way too fairly. Well, it's a shame I'm a dream.
Good voice. So, yeah, such a good song. Okay, very cool. Nice.
I think I'll pace my apartment a few times and fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You picked a doozy. You picked a doozy to sing. That's a fact.
And wake up early to black and white rain.
Haley Williams is the GOAT.
That escape from my mom. Oh, oh. All I wanted was you.
Hell yeah, I love that. I love that.
It was you. All I wanted was you.
You have a good voice, though.
All I wanted was you.
Of course, of course.
I could follow you to the
Production sounds nice, too. Good guitar tone.
It's
a good double track.
Maybe then we'd remember to slow down at all of our favorite parts. All I wanted was you. All I wanted was
Intro party, welcome in.
All I wanted was you. All I wanted was you. All I wanted was you.
Nice. Nice. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Y'all show some love, show some love. If you want to submit your music, everything's at the link in my bio. Link in my bio. You'll see both lanes. You'll see the consultation lane and you'll see the free line lane, of course. WKH, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, you'll see everything up there. You can also check the queue. If you click the tab, when you go to the submission form, if you click the tab to see the queue, you can see the line order minimum, check where you're at, so on and so on. But let's show some love. That is Matthew, All I Wanted. Let's dive into it. Really briefly, before we even get into it, for one, production structure sounds great. I mean, the guitar tone I think is fantastic. These are like well-programmed drums. Like everything feels, pretty lively, feels pretty energetic, and a pretty good bounce to most of those elements as well. I'm not mad at it. Even like vocal, presentation and the mix, like the way that you're singing, I think you're doing a great job. You obviously have a good voice. You can absolutely sing. One of the things I would love to hear is separation of your vocal layers. It's one of the few things that I would just get out of the way. What you're hearing is a couple things happening right in front of each other. So you have like your lead vocal and the double of the vocal and the harmony of the vocal kind of all sitting in the exact same space in the mix, which can be an effect to have depending on the song. But in this instance, what you kind of run into is like a production that feels huge, right? It's double tracked guitars with a lead, with chorusing, with all this overdrive and distortion. Thanks for the follow. You also get, these really wide stereo drums panned all around, bright overheads, right? It's a huge production mix. And then the vocal feels lonely in the middle of the mix. It just feels like it's hanging out all by itself. And it just can't, since there's no width to the vocals, there's no stereo information to those vocals, they just can't compete. They can't compete in the rest of the mix against massive drums, 12 mics on a drum set essentially, and like 4 or 5 guitar layers and a bass, right? It just can't compete. So what I would love to hear is a little bit more separation of those layers. So if you have a double of the vocal, you can offset it slightly. If you're gonna have harmonies on that vocal, get one on the left side, 80%, one on the right side, 80%. So your vocals and those stacks of vocals and the harmonies feel vibrant. They feel wide. They feel energetic. They feel like they're really adding something to the mix. And putting them outside of center is also going to help it just compete with the rest of the mix, right? Because if this is all right here and then everything else is surrounding you and it feels massive, then it just, like I said, it can compete. So opening up the vocal structure, I think, will be really, really helpful for you. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into a couple details here. Once again, if you want to submit, link in my bio. Also, make sure if y'all are on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. But let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it. There's a good guitar tone. Nothing wrong with it.
Think of me when you're out there.
Even here, tiny detail, but again, like vocal texture wise, I think it's good. I mean, you have a good natural vibrato, good forwardness. I mean, compression, I think is pretty clean. It's tamping down on that vocal in a way that makes it feel really forward and really energetic in the mix. What I would love to hear, even subtly, so subtly, is some automation of a really quick reverb tail at the end of this. And out there, and a little bit of wash right at the end, right there. So the last note that you hit just has a hair of like stereo hall, like Valhalla, 3 seconds, dark and mellow. It's really wide in the mix as well. It just gives you a little bit like I don't have mine on here anymore. I took it off. I could do that later. It just gives it a little bit of space, and again, connects to the production. If the guitars have reverbs and they have a little bit of wash to them, and they're distorted and they're double tracked and they're wide, and the drums have a room on them, they have overheads, they have all these elements that help them boost in energy. We just need a little bit of that on the vocal as well. So in this case, it's adding a little bit of that texture and that character to the vocal as well. So even just having a little bit of energy, a little bit of reverb on that vocal, even if you keep it really clean and you automate it to kick on just at the end of those last notes, you can keep the vocal very clean and very transparent, and also set it into some space. The layers being wider and your vocal being set into a bit more space will all help it feel like there's a little bit more energy and a little bit more vibrancy to the whole vocal mix here. That's one of those two things right there are one of the few things that I'm missing on this. PM triple for the flat top. That'd be amazing. That'd be very encouraging for me. Slim, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's keep it playing.
I'll beg you nice from my knees.
So those backgrounds do that beautifully. Graham, welcome in.
When the world treats you way too fast.
That's crazy, Slim. See those backgrounds when they come in? Those backgrounds kick in and they have such a great space to it. Such a great space to it. Is it Gremlins? Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. It's a Canon C100D. Or no, I'm sorry, not a C100 Mark II. Canon C100 Mark II is the camera.
Well, it's a shame I'm a dream. All I wanted was you.
I mean, it's a great low register, great clarity. Like I said, I think EQ and compression, we have this nice, strong vocal in the middle of the mix. I think you're doing a fantastic job. All of that sounds great. It's the dryness of the vocal in contrast with the space of the mix that to me is going to be one of the reasons why, like, it feels like here's a production, here's your vocal. Like they're kind of separate, doing separate things in separate worlds. That is where I want to connect the production structure a little bit more, connect processing so they feel, very, very much so in line, and make it feel very, very cohesive. And then the layers when they come in, we'll talk about that. Gremlin, this is Matthew. It's their cover of Paramore. It's out on all platforms though. Like all this, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, it's a strong production. It's a well balanced. It's well balanced. I like what I'm hearing. This all sounds pretty good.
I think I'll pace my apartment a few times.
Like even there, what I would love to hear is a delay of the vocal there that's like filtered way in the background. Like right here.
I think I'll pace my apartment a few times.
Like way in the background, but it's like telephone filter all the way down, way in the background with a bunch of reverb. Little things like that. The connection of your vocal to space with those little delays in the background in between, reverb automation, layers positioning. That to me is it. That's gonna be the name of the game for you, because the rest of this sounds really nice. Scotty, welcome in.
Pace my apartment a few times. And fall asleep on the couch. And wake up early to black and white reruns.
Great voice, great vibrato.
That escape from my mom.
So right there, a little pocket right there. I need that to feel nice and open and nice and wide. They all fall back in the mix because the percussion is kicking in a little bit more. I think you probably back off the proximity to the microphone as well. And then those layers are all right in front of each other so that vocal feels smaller in the middle of the mix in mono. But if that dun, dun, kicks on the outside, it opens it up. It's nice and prominent, nice and bright. It changes the way we perceive that vocal.
All I wanted was you.
Great voice, come on.
All I wanted was you. All I wanted was you.
Stefan, welcome in. So good.
All I wanted was you.
What's up, Grady? Welcome in. Because I want you to hear something actually really quick, right? So, obviously, this is your own cover, so you're not trying to copy everything. But what I want you to hear, and this is what you can kind of train your ear for as well, is what's happening in the people that are doing it at a very, very, very high level, and how you can emulate some of that. So if we do, let's see. I'm gonna go to that breakdown right there, right? So here. What I want you to listen for is dry versus wet on this vocal. And this is the automation of reverb that I want you to kind of listen for, and how it just blooms a mix and makes something feel like tight and punchy and energetic. And then all of a sudden feels like you're set in space and it sounds massive.
It was you.
Right there. I don't know if it'll even come across on TikTok, but there's an automation of a reverb and a delay that kicks in right there. It's super dry in this moment right here. And then you all of a sudden get this like stereo image bloom only at the as soon as you hit that right there, you hear the stereo image open up because there's an automation of the delay right there, an automation of the reverb right there, and it just opens up the mix on the vocal very subtly. Those are the things that I'm talking about. And again, that's what the reason why I'm mentioning things like that is because that's what you hear in the songs that you love, and they're subtle differences, they're complex differences, but they are the difference in the vocal just staying lonely, staying small in the mix, and feeling like the vocal is set in space and it sounds massive, has all of this energy to it. And that's what I'm looking for from your vocal. It's got all that extra, like the doubling to it, all of that extra space right here. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Anyways, let's go back to the other record here real quick. But that's what I'm talking about when we're talking about those details.
Maybe then we'd all have a favor. All I wanted was you.
Killer.
All I wanted was you.
I appreciate you.
All I wanted was you. All I wanted was you.
And you can also, I mean, this is one of the like the staples of like Paramore sound too, is this wall of energy out of the guitars. These guitars, I mean, they sound beautiful. They're really good. We don't need a ton of energy out of the leads, but you could probably push those rhythm guitars, that double track of rhythm guitars, those can probably come forward a little bit as well. You are getting good, punch out of the middle vocal like we already talked about. You're getting good clarity out of that middle vocal. Those outside guitars, I mean, we went back and listened just for a second of the other track. You hear for one, just the clarity of the vocal, but you also hear this massive snap that comes into the mix whenever the guitars come back in. They're loud, but there's perfect clarity across the board. Little things like that.
All I wanted was you.
It's great tone. Great tone. I mean, I really love the production. They did a fantastic job. Really, really well done. Same to you, man. Really, really well done. You also some love to Matthew Official that's right here in the chat. Appreciate what you do so much. Really, really love what you do so much. Yeah, I think for me, no matter what you covered, like you already mentioned, you're going to be doing your own music. You're going to be working on your own rock productions and stuff like that. The more that you're doing that, the more it's going to be helpful to know how and where to place your vocals, and structure for the production and how you want those things placed as well. So whether or not that we're even like talking about this mix and this particular production that your friend worked on, as well as you covering the vocals, I do think that you can open those things up. And when you do, your own music, you'll feel the difference of like how just wide and vibrant those vocals feel. You're crushing it. It's so good. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited to hear your original stuff too. Absolutely. I got you. That's what we're here for. It's what we do every time. Matthew, appreciate you so much. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much for sharing your art with us. I appreciate that a lot. Let's get into the next record here. We got D Busy in the building. Quick reminder that if you would like to submit your music for a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultation on the structure of your music, if you would like to dive deep into the mix, production, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, so on and so on, all of that is at the link in my bio. If you would like to submit, just go to the link and choose where you want to be in the line, so on, and we will get you up on the board ready to go. We got D Busy, and I think it's Kaya Jones. But D Busy, let me know that you're in the chat. I want to make sure that you are present. Let me see. I actually don't see him in the line, but I will wait. Oh, there he is. For whatever reason, it wasn't popping up in the line. All right, this is I Don't Care. Talk to me about the details, D Busy. Talk to me about the details.
Sorry, I'm busy.
This one is a consultation as well.
I don't care if the streetlights beat me home. I don't care whether or not they think I'm wrong. I don't care as long as I'm with you.
Beautiful. Is that the vocal?
I don't care. The world could all come crashing down. I don't care if we're lost and can't be found.
What's up, Max? Welcome
I
in.
don't care as long as I'm with you.
Beautiful.
They say that everybody's heart needs a home. Love cannot be found when you're alone. Well, I found out this statement to be true.
Is this your daughter's vocal on the song?
As I'm with you. I don't care.
Okay, got you. I was like,
Friends may
damn.
think I'm hot. I don't care. If your sister thinks I'm not, I don't care. As long as I'm with you. As long as I'm with you. I don't care if our parents disapprove. I don't care. The world could have us both removed. I don't care as long as I'm with you. They
Admiral,
say
welcome in.
that everybody's heart needs a home. Love cannot be found when you're alone. Well, I don't care if what they say is true.
It's Norwegian, Admiral. Norwegian.
As I'm with
Close.
you, we can build a world of no tomorrow. Maybe just a life.
Beautiful song, D Busy.
and me.
Beautiful.
Anything is possible.
Welcome in.
Alright.
Take us in. I want to get out of here. Adopt us.
I believe.
Are you in Sweden right now?
I don't
Yeah, absolutely.
care if the streetlights beat me home. I don't care whether or not they think I'm wrong. I don't care.
Yeah, if you want to submit, Admiral, type !submit in the chat.
As long as I'm with you. As long as I'm with you. They say that
Come on, baseline.
everybody's heart
Come on, baseline.
needs a home. Love cannot be found when you're alone. Well, I found out this statement to be true. As long as I'm with you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. D Busy. This is amazing, man. This is amazing. Y'all show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is D Busy, the producer, produced the whole thing, wrote it with his 15-year-old daughter, which is amazing, man. So beautiful. One, to even just have that relationship, but also the structure of the song is so fantastic, man. It's beautiful, it's colorful, it has this amazing, amazing tone to it. It's like a warm blanket of a song. So yeah, man, show some love. D Busy right here in the chat. Let's run it from the top. Talk to me about where you're at with the song right now. Talk to me about where you're at with the song, man. This is beautifully done. So let's dive into it. Let's run it from the top. We'll talk through a couple things, but yeah, this is a fantastic record, man.
Sorry, I'm busy.
I love the little producer tag in the intro still.
I don't care if the streetlights beat me home. I don't care.
It's one thing that's really cool about this production structure is it's very raw and organic and very obviously just largely acoustic and a couple other elements, brushes and the drums and stuff. Like it's very soft and very natural and very organic. At the same time as there being some like Vera speed effects and like tape introductions and tape stops and reverses and stuff like that, there's still some of the D Busy, more modern texture in there, which I think is really fun. I was seeing my daughter about boys and writing music to express her feelings to me. Dude, I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. What a good dad.
Whether or not they think I'm wrong, I don't care.
Denise, welcome in.
As long as I'm with you. I don't care. The world could all come crashing down. I don't care. If we're lost and can't be found, I don't care.
Really beautiful repetition of those melodies right there. Da, 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 da. It's really, really smooth and really, really open. Thinking about adding a cello, dude, cello D Busy is like my favorite instrument in the world. If you're thinking about it, do it. If you're thinking about it, do it. Especially a B section here. So when you go into the quick interlude here, add it on the B section. It sounds good. It sounds good.
I don't care.
Oh, Jesus, hold on.
The world could
Wrong
all
instrument.
come crashing down. I don't care. If we're lost and can't be found, I don't care. As long as I'm with you. They say that everybody's heart needs a home.
Ooh, I love that.
Love cannot be found when you're alone. Well, I found out this statement
The introduction,
to be
you add that little bit of piano. That little texture and that progression is so beautiful. That's a gorgeous progression walking up from the six right there. That is so tasteful and so soft in the background. But I think, yeah, maybe coming out of this section here, you have this kind of coming out of this section right here, or, a section of the hook. This might be where it would be interesting to like introduce, yeah, this isn't up right here. It's Roland's. I love it. I love it. This is the Earth piano, the Roland Earth piano that's there plug-in from the Roland Cloud. It sounds really similar to what you have on there, to be honest. It's really, really close.
you're alone. Well, I found out this statement to be true.
Beautiful.
As long as I'm with you.
Dude, get it. So I have it with Roland Cloud. So that's it's like what, $20 a month or something like that. I have it with Roland Cloud. And it has all of their stuff, right? So all of the Roland plugins. So if you want like the Juno 60, Juno 106, you want the Juno Chorus, you want the Jupiter 8, the Jupiter 4. There's a whole suite. All of the Roland SRX, like old like 90s rack mounted synth units and stuff like that. So all of like the world ones and the ethnic ones and the pianos and the strings and the percussion, like it's got all of those racks, the JV80s, like it's got all that stuff in there. It has all, dude, it's got it all. But then they have the Roland Earth piano, and I think they have grands. And then they have a bunch. They have obviously a bunch of different grands, different stuff you can change the microphone spacing and things like that. Dude, I love it. It's just one of the most beautiful Dude, it's such a... This is a beautiful tone. Where I actually think it shines the most sometimes is like... They're like the high end too. Dude. It's beautiful. I love it. Anyways, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. But yeah, the warmth that you bring in here. So once you get out of this section here, I think if you're going to add a cello, this would be where we do it.
As long as I'm with you.
Like that, that's where I would like bring in like something nice and smooth right there, and then you can kind of like maybe pluck it, little pizzicato, you know, plucking through the next verse right there, and then smooth it out on some of the interludes right there. But that little, after you go into like your hook breakdown, you know, to the F major, once you get through that and you have the little hold, I think that'd be a great spot. If you're going to introduce a new element here, because you bring in the drums there, that'd be a great spot to introduce some really wafty, slow-moving pianos right there.
I don't care if your friends may think I'm hot.
I mean, hold on. Let me. I wonder if I wonder if this will work. I've been having some trouble with this plugin, but I hope it works. Let me see. Let me try something real quick, and we'll see what's happening. We'll see what's happening here. Just because it's fun to hear it and be like, maybe I do want that, or maybe I don't. Maybe it's not what I'm looking for. But you know me. I like to give it a shot and see what's actually happening here. Let me see if it'll pull up for me real quick. Sometimes it doesn't want to be the most cooperative. And I don't care. Terry's in the building. What's up, Terry? Welcome in. Close that up. Put a little bit of reverb on it. Let's see here. Bring this down a little bit. And let's see. What's up, Howlermouth? Welcome in. Okay. Let's dry this up a little bit, and then I want to kind of hear how this would kind of introduce itself. See, it always does this. You know what I need to do? I need to upgrade. Yeah, 0.01%. Hey man, that's industry standard. Industry standard rates right there. Let me see. I hate this, dude. I need to upgrade the plugin. I know I do. I'm not gonna worry about it. I can't do it. It's gonna drive me nuts. It keeps slamming to mono for no reason at all, and like crashing the plugin. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna mess around with that. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Add it. For sure add it.
I don't care.
I'm not gonna mess with that right now. Too much technology.
If your sister thinks I'm not, I don't care.
Oh, this is beautiful. Beautiful.
As long as I'm with you, as long as I'm with you. I don't care if our parents disapprove. I don't care. The world could have us both removed. I don't care.
So good.
As long as I'm with you. They say that everybody's heart needs a home. Love cannot be found when you're alone.
Yeah. You know what would be nice? And again, you know me, I'm throwing out ideas because I hear ideas, and you already have a beautiful, beautiful tone here. I would love an upright bass in this. I think we have like a strong like finger P bass sound in there, and it's beautiful, and it's doing everything that it's supposed to do. But I would love a little bit more of that like enveloping that happens with an upright bass. That little bit of movement. It's got a little bit more of an attack, like like delayed attack movement to it, that kind of modulation that you hear. I think an upright bass would just be like the perfect low-end texture for a song like this. Feel free to play around with that. Obviously, the bass that you have sounds wonderful, and I don't think you need to change it. I'm listening to this, and I'm like, man, there's something about the movement and the modulation and the just the energy of an upright bass that I think would just fit really, really well in a production like this.
What they say is true. As long as I'm with you, we can build a world with no tomorrow.
Love the chord, dude. The chords are so good. I love the progression so much, man.
Maybe just a life for you and me. Anything
I recorded a acoustic bass first, but the idea of a bald-headed bass player kind of stuck. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's working. It's working, man. Like, that's what I'm saying, where it's like, Jeff, thanks for the follow. It sounds fantastic. It sounds fantastic. So what I'm saying is not in contrast of it sounding amazing. It sounds fantastic. And that's where, but I do like even here, let me see. Doom, doo, doo, doom, doom. If you want to listen, everything's at the link in my bio. I'll probably be closing up the line here in just a little bit. I'll probably hop off here in the next bit, but I'll listen to maybe a handful more songs here. So even like here, let me see. Where's my do 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 do. Nick, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate it. Okay, where's it at? Where's it at? Let's see. Let's see if this is what we're looking for. Let's see. I'm gonna back it up here.
is I don't care if we lost every stand can be found. I don't care
No, I take my time.
as long as I'm with you.
If we come in here,
They say that everybody's heart needs a home.
I mean,
Love cannot be found when you're alone. Well, I found out this statement to be true.
I mean,
As
I really like, because you hear what I'm talking about with the attack, with like a double bass like this or like an upright bass. It's different than the softness of the pluck of a finger bass, even with like a pick, but like just a finger bass or like a classic Fender P bass or something like that. There's something about the clickiness of like a double bass, like a big like bass cello or like an upright bass that just gives it some texture. Just gives it some texture. I'm gonna run that part again, specifically on these moments
I'm
though.
crashing down, found out as I'm with you. They say that everybody's heart needs a home. Love cannot be found when you're alone. Well, I found out this statement to be true. As long as
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Because you hear how direct the electric bass feels. That's countering that with a little bit of the softness of the texture of an upright or a double bass, and then the little bit of the snap of the top right there is kind of what I'm listening for. Yeah, I love to outstack it. UGM has a dope. Okay, perfect. I think that like now the whole song really production wise starts to take shape, right? Where you introduce like a low cello part that kind of glues everything together. We stack in an upright, so you get that snappiness. We get that attack at the top with a really warm modulated undertone to it. Those like two things happening at once for me are a lot of what my brain wants to hear. Like that softness, less of like the direct digital process, right? Like where it feels really soft and really organic. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, okay. Let's get into the outro here really quick. But dude, yeah, this is a D-Busy. It's a gorgeous production. It's so
I
nice.
found out this statement
It's so nice.
to be true. As long as I'm with you.
It's such a nice little snap. It's such a nice little push right there. Man, y'all show some love to the family. D-Busy, the producer. brilliant, genius composer. He does this at a very, very high level. Man, it's always an honor anytime that I get a chance to listen to what you're working on and be a part of the process in any sense at all, man. It's so much fun. So y'all show some love to the family. Everybody go show some love and follow D Busy, the producer. He's fantastic. He's so good at what he does, man. I've never heard, even if I'm hearing like early demos and like early production structures from D Busy, they're all fantastic. They're all so impressive to listen to. So give it up one more time. Let's keep the music moving on. I am going to close up here in a second. I probably will even close the line now. So let me go ahead and do that. So submissions are closed for right now. I'll take a handful of songs here that are left here in the chat, and then we will be live again. If not late tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. For sure on Monday. So starting on Monday, I'll be back live after my projects for the day. I've got a ton of new projects and new things that are happening next week. So I'm going to go live as consistently as I can. Some might be later, some might be earlier. The time's going to change a little bit, so just keep that in mind. But just make sure you're following on all platforms. Mookie, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. We're on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, of course. So just make sure that y'all are tapped in. That way, whenever we're live, you'll get notified. But we got, hold on 1 second. We got Disorder in the building. Disorder, let me know where you're at. I Care Us by Disorder. I'm excited to dive in. This is out on Spotify. Disorder, talk to me about the details of your music. Talk to me about the details of your music. Tell me the role that you play in your music. If I've heard you before, of course, let me know. I get confused sometimes with all the different names that I see in here. But definitely let me know. This is my band song. Let's go. I'm going to pull it up on Spotify. Give me all the details. Talk to me about what you do in the song. Talk to me about mix, production, things like that. All right, let's get it. This is I Care Us by Disorder. Let's go. 100%. 100%. Line is closed out now. I'm going to be live again either tomorrow or Monday. I like the space in this. No worries. Nicola, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it.
Like children we played in every stolen moment. But if I believe in
It's a good mix. Nice mix. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. Really nice. I would love to. We're closed for today, but I'm going to be live either tomorrow or Monday, so just make sure that you're following, and we'll open up the lines most likely on Monday. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Of course. Marvin, I can hear that. Yeah, I've got one more after this. Thanks for the follow. Love the feel. Love the feel. Very polished. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Hold on, where'd the song go? Where'd it go? There we go. That is I Caris by Disorder. Please show them some love and support. The song that you just heard is out on all platforms. So go like it, go stream it, go add it to your playlist. Go show them some love and support. Beautifully done. Song structure is fantastic. Dynamic range is fantastic. Start to finish. The production and the vocal structure is emotional and engaging. I think from an execution standpoint, y'all are doing a fabulous song. We'll be able to move quickly through this one. Fantastic job on it. So many things that y'all are doing. There's a little pocket of frequencies that is, I think it's mainly on the double-tracked guitars, like the double-tracked lead/rhythm guitars, that mid-open strumming. There's a frequency in there, probably around like 2,000, 3,000 hertz, kind of in that range, that's ringing quite a bit throughout the hooks in the bridge, and like when you build up all of those stacks right there, that little pocket right there is ringing a little bit, and so I would just a little bit of suppression of that resonance would be helpful to just clarify the mix. The more that I turn it up, the harsher that it becomes, and so I think the more that you can mitigate that, the better. It's so subtle, but it does add some kind of brittleness to the mix and some abrasive frequency to the mix, that if that was softened, you'll actually be able to push the mix a little bit farther. I got one more song in me after this, and then I'll be live again either late tomorrow or if not late tomorrow, then maybe Monday, or for sure Monday, maybe late tomorrow. Let's run it from the top, and let's get into it, man. But a beautiful song structure. It's so fantastic. It's done so incredibly well. I think this one is mine. It's SAMR or Samro. Samro is the last one, at least currently speaking. That's you? Okay, cool. I couldn't see the name on there. All right, let's run it. Let's run it from the top. But please show some love once again. Sounds good. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for tapping in today. I Caris by Disorder is out on all platforms, like I said. So like it, stream it, add it to your playlist. Show them some love and support. Y'all deserve a lot of movement for what y'all are doing. Why is it not playing? Hold on. Let me refresh it really quick. Hold up. There we go. This isn't yours. This is theirs in the consultation. All right, let's go through it. No, you're good. When we do the consultations, like it says in the note, when we do the consultations, we go back through the song. We listen for like 20 minutes and really get into the details of it. So this is now our second listen, going back through it to dive into it. One of the best parts about this is the subtle introduction of new elements as they come in. It feels incredibly dynamic, from really simple pads and texture and ambiance to bass coming in, to guitar lines coming in, to like synth noise coming in. All these textures kind of colliding at the same time make this really beautiful to listen to. Slow introduction of the kick, like everything is just kind of swelling in. So even here, even as we start to increase, we start like turning up and opening up the guitars and stuff here. Even here, we're starting to get more of that ringing. It's starting to kick in, and that's part of what is like suppressing things a little bit, or just making those guitars feel like they're slicing through the mix and a little bit abrasive to listen to. And the instinct is to turn it down. The instinct is to kind of drop it down a little bit, as opposed to let's like turn it up, make it as loud as possible. And that's where I want to soften that just a hair, just a hair, just a hair. Because I want to be able to crank this as loud as I possibly can without any restriction to it sound-wise. Great voice. Fantastic voice. Great performance.
Like children, we played in every stolen moment. But if I believe in making dreams come,
Everything else is like a really, really nice mix. I mean, that is a present vocal. It feels forward. It's compressed well. It's crystal clear, even amongst a wall of sound, right? Against a ton of energy out of these guitars and the drums. I mean, the drums sound thick. They sound really, really present. There's a ton of body behind them. The drums sound absolutely fabulous. They sound really, really good. And the guitar tone is awesome. It's just that ringing that I want to take care of. But vocal structure, I think, is beautiful. The dynamics are amazing. Y'all are doing an awesome, awesome job. So good. What's up? Welcome in.
you are losing hope, I swear I'll be a lifeline.
Great voice. Come on, man. So good.
You're like everything I need and a friend at the same time.
And I really like, I mean, it's a really clean, like transparent mix on the vocal, but it's saturated well. It feels really, really forward without relying heavily on tuning at all, right? Like without having to add a lot of like high retune speeds and stuff like that, or any really structural tuning at all outside of maybe manual corrections here and there. Most of the structure of this vocal is incredibly natural. It's like very, very, very transparent and natural with really good, clean, good, clean processing on that vocal to give it the energy that it deserves. Very, very well done. Let me get into this last section here, but man, y'all are crushing it. The only thing to me that I would love a little polish on is those guitars, just because it does limit how loud you can really push this without it hurting your ears. Beyond that, man, it's a gorgeous song structure. Dynamics are fantastic. So good. Y'all should be very proud of what you're doing.
Like the street settle into every time. Like this, I am falling in your eyes.
So especially here, we push those guitars. It's pretty harsh. Beautiful. Great mix on the bass to drums too. That relationship is fantastic. Amazing. Super polished, super, super professional. Y'all please show some love to Disorder. The song is called I Care Us by Disorder, and it is absolutely amazing. Go show it some love. If you want to stream it, it is out on all platforms. Go like it, go stream it, go add it to your playlist, go boost their algorithm, go show them some love and support. Y'all deserve a lot more exposure for the quality of music that y'all are putting out. So I'm excited to hear more of y'all's music as well. So well done. Let's get into the last track of the day. This is 1215 Blank V120 by Samro. So Samro, hop in the chat. Let me know what we're listening to. I'm assuming this is a beat, but give me some details. Give me some details. We're going to close it up right here. Last one of the day, and then we'll be live again. If not late tomorrow, then probably Monday afternoon. But let's get into it. If it's not late tomorrow, I don't know if I'll have time to go live tomorrow with just the other work that I'm doing, or but I'll probably be live again on Monday. I have a ton of like big studio projects. I'm going to be rearranging everything in here next week, but so I gotta figure that out. But maybe maybe Monday. Maybe Monday. That's going to be my goal at the very least. It's a demo for an album I'm working on. The vocals are kind of rough right now, but the ideas are done. Beautiful. Let's get it. So are you the artist and the producer? Are you just the producer? So on and so, like the engineer? Let me know. Give me some of the details of the role that you play in the song, and we'll get into it. Are you a talk show? I'm not a talk show. So I work full time as an engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. And what we do on this live stream is consult with artists and producers, engineers, songwriters, vocalists, so on and so on, and give them tools and tips and actionable feedback on the structure of their music. So that's what this live stream is. But I guess it's like I'm talking, and it's kind of a show, and it's live, and it's whatever. But it's not necessarily a talk show. What we're doing right now are just live consultations for producers and artists, and so on and so on. I like that synth. Super tight, like plate reverb on it. What's up, Helios? What's up, dude? I love that. I love that. Really like the production structure. It's vibey. I'm excited for you to work on the vocals because the structure of this is great. I just want clarity, separation from that vocal, so it's clear what's going on there. The vibe is really cool though. Let's go. Y'all show some love. It reminds me of some of Joe's new stuff. He on his, I think it's his more recent album where he has some music kind of in that space. It's like a little 80s funky pop vibe, but then it also has some like other 70s texture and stuff in there. You get these really overdriven synth basses and so on and so on. You said you're Swedish? No. My name is Norwegian. The name is Norway. I'm not from Norway or whatever like that. I wish. But the Torvik, the name is Norwegian. And my ancestry is Norwegian. Yeah, Joe's awesome. All right, let's run it, man. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into it. Let me know really quick here as well what kind of some of your pain points are. So I understand this is an unfinished project and it's something that feels like you still have a couple things you want to work through. Like you said, the vocals are largely scratch vocals. You need to rework them and gain some clarity and separation from them. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. But is there anything that you feel like there's this thing that has kind of been bothering me about the song that you need some help figuring out? Let me know. And if it's not, if you just want an overall vibe check, of course, let me know. But I would love to obviously offer as much value as possible and get into some of the details that would be the most helpful for you. But I love the feel, and I love your synth and bass work. I think it's fantastic. Drums are crunchy and saturated. I'm a little experienced with producing and instruments, but editing vocals has been tough. I feel that. Okay, let's maybe we will get more into that if that feels like it's a little bit more of one of your pain points. Yeah, because the production sounds nice. It's spacious, it's distorted, it's grungy. What I would recommend for this style, especially if you like a lot of like 60s, 70s like vocal mixing, especially with like the like dead saturated drums, distorted like synth, like mini Moog synth basses and stuff like that, you know, balanced with some other layers. If that's kind of the sound that you're going for, I would suggest having a much clearer, more direct lead vocal that is doing exactly what you want it to do. And then on that lead vocal, have just probably a fairly saturated lead with some like slap delays or spring reverb. You have a little bit of that on there, but have one layer in this mix that's kind of a non-negotiable, not as touched layer, right? That's going to be the kind of the core layer that for you is kind of dictating everything else that is happening. And you can bring it up and down depending on how much clarity you want or how much, you know, noise and background stuff you want. But one vocal, because what I hear now is everything is kind of like chorused and phased and distorted and saturated and wide and panning and like everything's kind of doing all of these things all at the same time. So it's very challenging to kind of hear the song through the noise, right? The production is punchy and distorted and is doing what it's supposed to do, but it's hard to kind of reach the vocal through all of that. And so what I would do is if you still want this like kind of fuzzy, energetic, saturated, punchy vocal, make sure the core of the vocal has some clarity to it. Because if everything's hyper processed, then what part of that hyper processed layer structure of like 6 different vocal layers is going to tell you the song, what melody people should sing, what words people should learn, so on and so on, especially on a first pass, right? Of people giving you a quick chance to hear the song. So yeah, and here's the thing is I like all of those things. We just have to either run them in parallel or just be more strategic with what takes, you know, first place in the mix. What's like the non-negotiable in the mix? So I would have a still very processed lead vocal. So a lead vocal that is very compressed. It's very saturated and you get some grit out of it, some crunch out of it. I think that's great. A nice like tape saturated kind of crunchy vocal I think is perfect, right? Especially for what you're doing here. Have that vocal in the middle of the mix with maybe a doubler on it. You know, maybe it has a double next to it or you have a doubler on that vocal. So you get that tight kind of Beatles style. Joe does this a lot, obviously, double vocal in the middle. And then just have a really, really fast slap delay on there, like a filtered H delay, slap delay on there that just gives you a punchy, present, big body, vocal in the middle of the mix. It's got a lot of energy behind it, but maybe it still has a double to it and a little slap delay, just a little bit of texture right there at the end. That alone, even if you deleted everything else, that alone over this production would be good, right? If you just took all of the cool things you're doing that are cool, but even if you took all of that away, a punchy, thick sounding, saturated vocal with a double and some chorusing and a slap delay would be enough for this to feel complete. Now, if you want to add this like auto panning phased vocal and this huge like gated reverb on a vocal stack in the background, you can, but it's not going to interrupt what is the non-negotiable, which is a legible lead vocal that we can all hear and understand and feel. So that's little things like that, right? And actually, let me see. There's a song. I don't know if I know. You would probably know it. You'd probably know it if you know Joe. I'm not super familiar with all the song names. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. Hold on. I want to see really quick because there's a song that I'm thinking of. This one, okay? This is reminding me of what you're doing. Different, but obviously totally different song, but it's reminding me of what you're doing. This is Change. Thick drums that are pretty dead with a bit of like, room reverb on them. Thick, distorted, double layer of bass. Doubled vocal, nice and wide in the mix with a bunch of saturation on it. That to me is a lot of obviously different song, but very much so what you're doing. But listen to how still direct and doubled and clean the vocal is, even if a bunch of other stuff starts happening around it. There's like a formant shifted low pitched vocal on the right side. There's a bunch of other things happening, right? Clean vocal, big slap delay on it. Reverses leading in. So there's still a lot of weird, quirky, dude, go check out the song if you haven't already. It's so good. But like you hear how all those things that I'm talking about, right? Here's a big wide vocal stack with a bunch of reverb and slap delays. But there's actually barely there. There's a clean lead vocal right in the middle. So you get all of this width and ambiance and crazy stuff happening. And then there's a barely clean vocal right in the mixel right in the middle of the mix. It's barely there. You can barely hear it. And it's what's just allowing you to cleanly hear the lyrics still when there's all this extra energy happening. And then you get back into the hook and it goes crazy. And we're back to clean, punchy, distorted, vocal with a little bit of processing on it, matching bass line. So anyways, different song, but I want you to hear that because it mirrors in my mind a lot of what you're trying to do. So listen for stuff like that where it's like, I want all of the effects, but all of the effects don't need to be happening on everything at all times. We can have some clarity surrounded by processing and energy and stuff like that, similar to how you have the rest of your production. It can be surrounded by these other things and not always stepping on the toes of like the clarity and the legibility of the lead vocal. That's what I would look for, because I really like the energy of your production. I really like the energy of what you're doing here. Being able to understand kind of what's happening on the vocal side is going to help a lot. So if you had a lead vocal in the middle of all of that craziness happening, this dun 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 dun, and it was saturated, a little bit of delay on it, you'd be fine. And all the rest of everything else would just kind of fall into place. Because what I hear right now is like the production and the background vocals. It's like I'm not getting a lead. I'm getting like a bus and backgrounds and the production. So if you just in my mind kind of add in the lead, I think it'll be fine. I don't think you'll have anything to worry about. Like have that all of that like flanging and stuff that's happening, modulation that's happening on the vocal, nothing wrong with that. Double that and put it outside and have a lead that supports it in the middle. So we start to get this like auto panning, we start to get this modulation on the outside, but your lead vocal maybe isn't the one taking care of that, right? It's supported by backgrounds a little bit more. Or if you want to keep it there, we need more, more body out of it. I love that bass synth. Obsessed with the synths. It's so good, man. So good, so good. And do you think it needs a B section that is a B section, not a C section? A B section that is more different. It kind of depends on what you want to do. Right now, you're at 2.5 minutes, right? Something like, right about 2.5. Yeah, dude, of course. You're right at about 2.5 minutes. At 2.5 minutes, in my opinion, this is a punchy, like concise, indie pop record, right? I think if you keep it as is, it's got replay value. It feels cohesive. It feels connected well. I think you're doing all of that beautifully. The only reason where you might want a bridge or a more distinct B section is if you're fine lengthening this to 3 minutes and 10 seconds, creating a different dynamic, changing your progression, changing the synth and the sound design, and then shifting back into it. You have space to do that. You're at 2.5 minutes. You can make this 3 minutes. You can make it 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and that'd be perfectly fine. I think it's just because Joe has a crazy 100%. And I think as a musician, as a creative, I would appreciate that. I think I would love that. And I think the audience, too, would love some more twists and turns in there. I'm not against it in any way. Mama Jack, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I'm not against that in any way. I think if you creatively, you're like, I think I can squeeze more out of this. I think I can add a little bit more to this, and it would be beneficial to the song. It would wake up the structure halfway through. It would make it more interesting. I'll have more fun producing it that way. Then run with it. Do with it. If you're just trying to find ways to do more stuff, then maybe not, right? If you don't feel like it's necessary, if the song feels complete, it feels cohesive, it feels locked in, then you might want to you're like, okay, I'm good. I did what I was supposed to do in the song. The next idea is for the next song. But if you're like, you know what, there's more in here. There's more in this song, a little cool bridge, even like that low section in the Joe song, right? It goes down to like the reversed vocals and it just feels like really, really chill right there. That's a 6-second addition. That's a tiny little like, 2-bar loop right there. And then you go into the next section. You can do a lot with a little bit, you know what I mean? I don't have an idea for it, but I like how there's no fat really. Yeah, then run with it. Lock it in, right? But it can be really simple, right? So it could be, so like here. Hold on, switch. I was trying to find it. I was like, hold on. I was like, wait, this is like Vera speed or something, but I was, right over the, A major to C sharp minor. I was like, hold on one second. My ears are usually pretty good, or they were deceiving me a little bit. I was like, something's not added up. But kind of the move to the C sharp here. But one thing you could do is like you have the and you're going through the whole and you go back into it, right? You could spend 4 measures with like a low little chill, just like F sharp minor to the A. Like imagine here, right? So for go 2, 3, 4. I've been running away. Now every state is on a boat. I've said in a day. Don't know where you were from. And you go straight into the section again. Like something like that with your own creativity, with whatever like tone you want to have there, where you go down to like a muted, P bass sound and like a low guitar and a synth or something like that. You can have that moment right there. Takes 12 seconds. Now we're at 2 minutes and whatever we're at. 2 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that. You add that as like a pre-hook between each hook, or you do that as a bridge after your second hook. Something like that can be a small change in progression, a small change in dynamics. You change the texture of the vocal and the instruments there a little bit, and then boom, you're right back into it. The song feels like it's got more interesting texture, feels like it moves more places, without you being like, do I need a whole new section and a whole new like world happening here? I don't think you do. But even small changes of just like bringing it down to something really easy with the guitars and the synth could be a cool structural change that's really interesting to listen to without you doing too much, without you going too crazy. Y'all show some love. Show some love. That is Samro 1215 Blink version 120 BPM. Y'all show some love. I appreciate what you're doing, man. I like your sound a lot. Genuinely really like your tone. Really like the sound. So man, y'all please show some love to the family. Thanks for sending that in. That is going to close us up for today. I got to get out of here. We'll be live again. If not late tomorrow, it'll most likely be Monday. Of course, absolutely anything. We'll be live again most likely Monday. So we'll open up the lines again. We'll get a ton more music in here. We'll do giveaways. We'll get y'all out of the free line. And we'll open everything up on for sure Monday, maybe late tomorrow, but for sure Monday. Appreciate y'all so much. I think y'all are amazing. Thank you for sending in your music today. Hopefully we'll be able to tap in with y'all really soon. Make sure that you are following and subscribed on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok where it makes sense. And hopefully we'll chat with y'all very soon. Peace.